The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey will meet with the media today, and they'll be asked to try to explain the Jets' nightmare season. We will break down what they say and react in real time. Robby Sabo will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
I let the organization down, and I let the players down, and that burns me. It really does. This season's on me, and we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. We are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have made it to the offseason, and the content will not stop. Trust me, bro. Trust me. It is going to be a heck of an offseason. It always is when you root for the Jets. Let's say hello to our guy who joins us every Tuesday, the founder of Jets X Factor himself, the host of the Underdog podcast with Wayne Corbett. Robby Sabo joins us now. Mr. Sabo, the nightmare 3-14 season is thankfully over.
Yeah, it's over. It feels like today is the recap, right? Not the recap, but the capper. And JetX says Faria there. I'm sure we'll get into it and check out to see what the beat writers are saying, what's going on in real time. I think my message is going to be pretty much the same. It is what it is. And in terms of what my message is and what it's been for years, honestly, this is stuff that should be happening. And I'm not saying it's not happening, but this is stuff that should be happening within Glenn's circle anyway. So that's the message. And people close to Glenn, I firmly expect this message also to be challenged to him, if that makes sense.
So Glenn and Mougey expected to speak around 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you're watching live, that's in about 15 minutes or so. The Jets, as of now, are not streaming the press conference. At least I haven't seen it anywhere on YouTube. So we will react to the tweets from reporters, including JetX's Nick Faria, who is there, and share our thoughts in real time. But I want to go back to something that you said, Robby, specifically about people getting in Glenn's ear and giving him advice on what to improve. What is the biggest thing Aaron Glenn has to learn from this year going into a second year where, if you look at all the betting odds, he is already on the hot seat, first coach fired, next season? Like, there is no more grace period for Glenn. Many of us, including you and I, have argued that he should be one and done. That's how bad this season has been. So if you're Aaron Glenn, knowing your job is firmly on the line entering the offseason, what are the things he immediately has to learn from and correct?
I've been around enough coaches to know, and like, even if you're a fan, you see coaches through the years, they all have conviction. They're all stubborn to a point. You're not going to get that away from them. That's there, and it should be there. But I think he has to look inward in terms of which areas to remain convicted about, meaning coaching philosophy, communication, accountability, that sort of stuff, the culture building stuff. Cool. I think that he has something to work with there. But the on-field envisioning of what your team should be, the strategy, he's got to drop it. He has to drop it. What I saw last offseason when he took the job coming into the year was a guy who had a preconceived notion of what he wanted his team to be. Physical, rush first. That Philly team, it was even referenced, I think it was Cannizzaro from the Post, asked, when all the talk about Fields struggling in the offseason, are you worried about that? Teams have to pass. It's a passing league, Cannizzaro said. And Glenn responded, who are the champs? Philly. They just won the championship by rushing. Yeah, they did. It's sort of an outlier still. Like, can we see it repeat, but the point is bigger. He had a preconceived notion in terms of physicality, violence, has to be a rushing team. And I think that's for the birds. That's old school, man. It is way old school. It's 20 years ago. It's 2 decades ago. You could even call it Rex. 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012 even, it could work. You could jam a certain philosophy in there to a degree, and it could work to a degree, depending on the circumstances. These days, that does not work. When you look around the league, it's all about QB infrastructure. And yes, he got Fields. Yes, he had Tyrod. There's different talent levels at quarterback. No question about it. He doesn't have a May. He doesn't have a Caleb Williams, like Ben Johnson chose Chicago for that reason. Liam Cohen with Trevor Lawrence. Different levels, sure. But if you have the QB infrastructure and the vision from up top revolves around QB first, then you're on the right track. And then everything else, your team identity, all that other stuff has to be organic. If you shove a team identity down the throat of your roster, instead of molding the team identity around the personnel that's given to you, you have no shot. And I think that's the biggest thing he has to look inward about.
Well said. And again, Aaron Glenn is not exactly giving you much. If you're a fan, he says, grab onto the rope. Don't let go of the rope. But the problem is when he's actually asked for specifics, he either says nothing like, trust me, bro, or he brings up the Jaguars game when he's highlighting a drive when they're down 40-13 and they scored a rushing touchdown. So it is tough for Jet fans to buy into this guy right now.
And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Trust me, bro. It's tough right now, Robbie.
To me, that Jags game is very telling, and it's kind of supports what I'm saying because I understand what he saw with the emotional response from the Jets. They got into a shoving match at the end of the third quarter, down big, 41-13. I reviewed it. I put an article up, quick film review. So when you're a coach, you love that response. Okay, they got into a shoving match. Next 2 plays, touchdown, 5-yard run by Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis outside zone. I think it was a zone. I'm not sure. It went off tackle, and he made a 1 cut to the outside and got there. The defender didn't have the angle, the safety. So I get that. But I think today's league, what he should have remembered first and foremost, is the play that truly sparked the drive. Before the shoving match, Brady Cook hit Adonai Mitchell on the sideline for an 18-yard gain on a play action. It was solid. It wasn't the best play action in the world, but his offensive line sold it. The offense sold it, and it was a great call that sort of broke a tendency for the Jets offense. And that's what sparked it. QB driven. I don't care if it's Brady Cook. I don't care if it's Mahomes. It was a QB-driven play that sparked the drive. 18 yards in your own territory, 18 yards, gets you near midfield. That's the play to remember, not the down, 41-13 where the defense is not really playing you hard against the run. That's not. So I think a lot of the stuff he envisions and feels and wants to see on the field is emotionally based. And I'm not saying emotions are not a thing in football. They always will be, of course. It's just the pendulum has swung so far to the tactics, to QB efficiency, that emotionally based stuff is complementary. It cannot be where the bread is buttered.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey will speak coming up, so we will react in real time. It is Raffle Day on the show. We're giving away at the end of this program a signed Joe Klecko jersey, a signed Darrelle Revis jersey, and a signed Don Maynard football. And as we always do on Raffle Day, you get 2 for the price of 1. This is Raffle 55, those 3 prizes. Well, here are the prizes for next week's Raffle 56. And there's a theme for this one as well. It's Super Bowl 3 theme. Next week is the anniversary of Super Bowl 3. 57 years ago, Joe Namath and the Jets won Super Bowl 3 over the Baltimore Colts. I have on the screen there a framed Super Bowl 3 collector's game ticket and description of the game. Comes with all the authenticity from the NFL. So it's a really cool display for your man cave. Prize number 2 is a signed Joe Namath helmet. And prize number 3 is a replica Joe Namath Super Bowl 3 ring. So we'll switch it up and do a Super Bowl theme next week. Make sure you enter. It's 2 for the price of 1. Your chance to win the Klecko, Revis, and Maynard signed items and the Super Bowl 3 signed items next week on the show. Remember the Jets won a Super Bowl, Robbie? I mean, we don't remember. We weren't there. I heard about it. Apparently it happened.
It happened, and Joe Namath was starring in movies. He was he was quite the cultural icon. There's no question.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher is the first to enter the raffle next week and the raffle at the end of today's show. He is in for one. Let's go, Christopher. Appreciate you for being tuned into the show. Let's specifically talk about the coaching staff now, Robbie, because again, if they're retaining Glenn, to me, the biggest indictment of Aaron Glenn in year one, beyond, just the in-game stuff we can get into, this coaching staff was horrific, specifically on defense. Every player regressed. The defense was so bad, he fired Steve Wilkes before the year was even over. If Aaron Glenn can't get a legitimate defensive coordinator to come, how is anything going to be better next year, right? Like that might be, beyond the quarterback situation, the biggest hire he has to get right. Your thoughts on what they need to be specifically looking for in their next DC?
A modern vision, a way in which, and this is a tricky thing, because when you look for a modern DC, a lot of the stuff on tape is just blah. It's again, cookie cutter. It's generic. It's boring. A lot of it is soft, bend but don't break. In other words, Rex, his 09, 2010 teams that had elaborate blitzes, went crazy. It doesn't fit today's league. Like if you were to look at that tape of his blitzing packages, you foam at the mouth. I love it. It's my favorite way to play defense. Glenn has to avoid picking his favorite way to play defense. He has to avoid that and pick the guy who fits today's league best. So forget names, forget name brand, forget all that stuff. It has to be in terms of how it fits today's league. And in some ways, it has to fit the way he thinks his offense is going to work. But I don't think it's that important, because the other way around is much more important in terms of where the offense starts.
I just wonder why a top candidate would want to work for Aaron Glenn after this year. Like he's going to have to really sell them on something. Because again, if Aaron Glenn gets off to a 1-5 start, it feels like he's this year's Brian Callahan, right? Like it's that the seed is red, scorching hot going into year two.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, I think the quarterback's coach is exponentially more important than the DC in terms of who he's going to hire. And
you don't think Charles London will be retained?
I listen, I don't know if he's going to be retained. I think they need to find help offensively, and I think they're actively searching, no question about it. And again, it goes to what I talked about before. Why did he pick London in that position? Okay, he had some quarterback experience previously, but he's more so from a running back background. It tells me that, hey, he has that team identity. He's convicted on it. He's stubborn on it. So it makes sense. Hey, have a running back background guy at quarterback coach, because I chose Fields because I want that rushing system. I want to jam it down the throat of the defense. So that's just another bit of evidence that tells me he's trying to spearhead a specific vision as opposed to organically letting it happen. I think that's the main thing. If I was in front of Glenn right now, that's what I would tell him.
Is Tanner Engstrand safe?
It appears so. And listen, it's tough with Engstrand. There are some things you like. I still like Hayden the most in terms of the coaching staff. Hayden by far. And that is if there are any positives, it's the O-line. It's the way they gelled in terms of working together. There are some gaps which can confuse you, because when you go with the Fields offense, you have an advantage. You have a severe advantage where edges have to hang out on the edge more. A lot of stuff happens defensively. You have to give up and sacrifice. But to their credit, they still ran the ball decently well without Fields, without that specific offense. And it's hard to evaluate Engstrand because that Fields offense is so specific, and there are limitations to it. The rushing becomes more diverse, but the overall offense is more restricted. So it's very tough. It's very tough to evaluate Engstrand.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn expected to talk in a few minutes, so we will react in real time. Robby Sabo is our guest. We have a raffle at the end of the show, so make sure you enter to win a signed Don Maynard football, signed Darrelle Revis jersey, and a signed Joe Klecko jersey. Those are the top prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to some super chats here. You know what? I misspoke. It was actually Ryan McCarthy who was the first to enter the raffle first on the show today. So, Ryan, thank you. I didn't see this until now. We got you in the raffle for one.
Man, you don't like McCarthy either, huh?
I'm a McCarthy fan.
Okay, just think it's
a Mike McCarthy fan in particular. Would love for him to be the Jet coach right now. That's for sure. Yeah. Sabo, any preference for DC and vet QB coach / offensive assistant?
I honestly haven't even given it. I mean, Jim Leonard, obviously, I don't think it's going to happen. But Jim Leonard makes sense because he's done it at the college level and the NFL level now. And what that shows you is he's versatile and he's flexible and he's willing to swing with the punches. So in a perfect world, it would be Leonard. But other than that, it's tough. It's tough. I'm not putting a lot of importance on it, to be honest, right now. DC quarterbacks coach? No. I mean, any name surface in Jets land recently?
It's been the usual names. Wink Martindale seems to be the trendy name. I've heard from some people there's mutual interest there. I mean,
what about QB coaches?
I haven't heard anything on that. Again, like if I'm Aaron Glenn, I'm trying to see if I could get, Mark Brunell, who was, I believe, still on the Lions staff. I'm going to
Steve Young.
Steve Young would be excellent if he'd want to do it, but
he'll never coach. Yeah,
right.
He'd be. And I don't. For those who don't realize, Jake sent me a clip of Steve Young on the Michael Kay show. I don't know, what was it, this week? I assume yesterday. And dude, I've never felt so seen and validated in my life based on what Steve Young said. And it's perfectly encapsulated in terms of look around the league. The teams that are having the most success are giving themselves the best advantage because of the rules, and they're building an infrastructure that works from the QB first. And even the coaches who were hired last year said it out loud. Ben Johnson said it's about QB efficiency. And guess what? It's not just about the human playing QB. It's so much bigger than that. And I think that's a major thing the Jets have to keep in mind moving forward.
Connor Long in the house. Doug Peterson. See, the problem is, I think the Jets are in a tough spot. If you want a legitimate name, like I've heard Brian Dable's name be suggested.
I love Dable, yeah.
But the issue with that is they're not taking quarterback coaching jobs when they could be an offensive coordinator in all likelihood somewhere else. So that's why I bring up Engstrand. Like, if it means I could get Brian Dable to be my OC, I'm getting rid of Tanner Engstrand. There's nothing that Tanner Engstrand did, fair or unfair, that tells me I definitively need to keep him, right? I'm not saying he can't be good. There's some things that we definitely like about what he did. There's some things on film where you do see some offensive innovation and guys being schemed open, but it's not enough where if I could get a proven OC, I wouldn't move on from him. Again, everything the Jets do to just have a shot with this head coach that I think is terrible, but is coming back, you got to just dummy proof the coaching staff. You need proven commodities that can work with a young quarterback, because Aaron Glenn's job is hitching on, in all likelihood, the number 2 pick in the draft looking competent as a rookie.
It's all fair. It's all fair. And if you were to have a gun to your head, asked, is Tanner Engstrand the real deal based on this year? You have to go with a default no. There's no other way around it. That's the default. Now, here's the more important question. We can't look at OCs and DCs in a vacuum. They are within a structure that is laid out by the head coach. So what is that structure coming from Glenn? We heard him speak about team identity. We saw all the moves. He was picking personnel specifically made for that vision that he had of a team identity, of a brand, as we talked about in this brandless world. So what is Engstrand working within? And I think we always lose sight of that topic, and we just cannot. So we have to ask ourselves that question as well.
Well, the question was asked to Aaron Glenn, what type of quarterback is an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
And that led to signing Justin Fields, who has the worst winning percentage of any quarterback who has started the amount of games he has started. So that's what Tanner Engstrand was dealt in year one.
Again, that answer to me kind of doesn't jive with today's league. It's back in the old days, dude, 30 years ago, it was unmistakable. Young quarterback came, had a lot of talent, and the progression was slow and steady. And you saw it. Oh, he's coming. Yeah, Peyton threw a lot of picks in his first year, but he's coming. Next year, a little better. next year a little better. That's not the way it works today. Like, how many so-called franchise quarterbacks, quote unquote, are there in the league? I counted in one of the articles I did. It's about 22. Whether the franchise thinks they're the guy, or they are holding out hope still, or they're still in the process of developing, quote unquote. That's a lot. Now, how many are stone cold consistent of those 22? A handful? 5? Mahomes, Allen, got to put Hurts in there. Champion, Lamar, you got to put in there, even despite this year. Burrow, when he's not hurt. So the point is, what is a winner in a quarterback today? It's not like the Elways or the Marinos or the guys who would consistently win because they could put it on their back so much. Quarterback efficiency, quarterback play is more important today than in their day, but the way you achieve the quarterback efficiency is different. You don't rely on the human. You have a built-in infrastructure that's more organizationally and team-driven. That's the best way I could explain it.
Hit the like button if you just tuned in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. This one's from Seth, who says the Jets can't win to save their lives, but Robby Sabo is undefeated, speaking truth to the Asmaniacs. Amen with that. Thank you very much, Seth, for the super chat. Got you in our raffle coming up for 2 more entries. Retire 80 writes in, I'm very disappointed in AG, but it's like one of our best friends getting shot. I still support, but I'm a realist. Just try and stay positive. That's all you could do. I mean, again, all we could grab is hope, which sucks because I don't think there's any tangible evidence that this is the right coach to turn this around, but the owner doesn't think and is retaining him.
You know, thinking is overrated.
In his own words. So that's all we have. Andrew Section in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Andrew. Shout out to Tyrone, who's been a channel member for 20 months now. Jesus Jerry writes in, Robby, just how angry are you about the Jet situation? You give nothing away. Last time you showed emotion was with Renzel. That guy Renzel's a douche, by the way.
Did I show emotion? I thought I kept it cool. I showed emotion.
Let me say this about this Renzel guy.
Yeah.
He accused me of being a racist on social media last week for being critical of Aaron Glenn. So mean. That guy is dead to me. He is a clown. He is a fool. If he tries to show his face again, I will absolutely destroy him publicly on the air. And I said to him privately, you're dead to me. I don't accuse someone you never met. When I offered him and his daughter tickets to a Jet game that he accepted 3 weeks ago, don't accuse someone you never met that they're racist because they're critical of a 3-14 coach. You don't know a thing about me. It's ridiculous. So that guy Renzel, who called in, is one of the dumbest callers of all time. That's all you need to know about his intelligence. Frankie writes in, I love the pride Josh McCown as a QB coach from Minnesota. It'd be ideal because once Glenn is fired, he'd be the interim head coach and audition. I mean, McCown would be great, but why would he take a lateral move?
Yeah. Yeah. And when McCown's name is brought up, forget QB coach now. My mind immediately goes to this. When the fans say, no one wants to come here, it's hopeless. What if an organization is stuck in the mud and is repeating the same cycle over and over again with the same vision? You have to take a chance on a guy. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking whenever they're hiring. You have to take a chance. It's what Philly did with Andy Reid. It's what Carolina did with Canales. They were called a clown show when they hired Canales. Look at him now. You have to you have to be innovative in the way you go about your business. So that doesn't mean just hiring the next guy in line all the time who is supposed to get the job. Sometimes you have to take a chance, like a McCown. If you feel good and you meet with him and he really knows his stuff in terms of a scheme perspective and the vision of today's NFL. Mike LaFleur, notwithstanding his personal history, but a guy like that with the connections, they've been around the right guys who are seemingly having all the success in the NFL today, McVay and so on, and Reed and whatever. So again, it's innovation. Old man quarterbacks. Steichen was laughed at for Phillip Rivers. They didn't make the playoffs, but they damn well tried, and Rivers didn't embarrass himself. Rodgers with the Steelers. Listen, Steelers making the playoffs doesn't matter. Doesn't impact the Jets one bit. Rodgers being here or not really doesn't matter. But guess what? Rodgers, he's the encapsulation of going back and learning from your mistakes and learning where you weren't thinking about innovation and just rolling with what's comfortable. And I think that's the main thing with Rodgers.
The Jets presser is underway. We will get some live reaction, some quotes.
And by the way, sorry to interrupt, Jake, but just in case I wasn't clear, innovation isn't just on the field. It's, you know what? The rules make it impossible to touch a quarterback. It's perfectly traditionally football tackles can get flagged at any time for an automatic first down at 15 yards. Perfect Mel Blunt press coverages can get flagged and give an automatic first down, 15 yards. So innovation isn't just on field. It's maybe the old man quarterback could work in the NFL. We should seriously consider this because teams, you have to be first. You have to be ahead of the curve. And I'm just not seeing enough of that.
So they're not streaming this press conference, which, by the way, is total shit by the Jets because they just know every comment's going to be negative. But to not allow your fans to hear from the powers that be when you stream every other press conference, that's crazy.
Let's think back. Did they do it last year?
They stream everything.
They probably did because of the situation, right?
I mean, just crazy. So we'll get to the press conference stuff coming up. Appreciate everyone who's tuned in live right now. I just want to get caught up on some super chats. Then we'll do a rapid fire of some quotes here. But bad job by the Jets not streaming this. I think it's a huge mistake. Kashmir says, "What do you guys think of bringing in Frank Reich?" Again, I'm all for adding experience with proven QB guys. I know Robby feels the same. I don't know. You're saying if Glenn doesn't work out, I don't want Frank Reich as a head coach. I think that wouldn't make sense. He's got enough chances.
Yeah.
Wild Stallion, Salah Mope has infected the fan base at this point. We've never been more down. If Woody moved between the
what did he call it? Salah Mope?
It's the Salah Mope.
Salah Mope.
The Salah stuff has got to stop. No excuses for Aaron Glenn. It's enough.
Salah, I started feeling bad for the guy. At the pressers when he started knocking on wood on the podium all the time when injuries were brought up. And he did get hammered with injuries. And funny thing, he's getting hammered in San Fran, too. San Fran's been hammered with injuries for a while now. Yeah, it's funny. Salah Mope.
Stream your presser at the end of the year. Jesus. More likely, Glenn fired or Stranger Things episode 9. I've never seen Stranger Things, so someone in the chat.
I didn't even know it was still on the air. Like I saw a couple episodes in the first season because it had like a 1980s throwback feel, E.T. type thing, but I didn't even know it was still on. Jeez.
Yep, I had no clue. Vincent says, figured Renzo will be a race-baiting clown. Correct, Vincent. We want AG to succeed. He showed 0. Now it's hold the rope and blind faith. Love when Sabo was on. Go Jets. Every Jet fan wants Aaron Glenn to succeed. It's an amazing story if it works out. Even if he wasn't my preference of coach because he had no experience, the fact that he was a former Jet, the fact that he'd been here, I thought he'd understand the market more. I thought he would, since he was around Ben Johnson, he'd understand where the league is going offensively. But he's an archaic coach who has shown no signs of being able to adapt to the modern game. He's not a fit for what they're about to do. That's the big issue with Glenn. His principles make sense, but they're accentuated to a point where you overlook the things that actually matter in regards to winning. You can't say at a press conference, it's not about the X's and O's. This is not about rah-rah, we're going to be more tougher than the other guy. You are focused on all the wrong things. That's why he should go. Again, he's bad at hiring his staff. He's bad at developing a quarterback. He's bad at deploying schemes. Not a single player improved this year on his side of the ball. Bad at clock management and in-game decision-making. Did I miss anything? That's the issue. It's not personal. He's just a terrible coach.
You can't utter the words physicality and violence and want to physically impose your will as the main dish in today's league when a perfectly legal football tackle could be flagged for 15 yards.
Yep, great point.
Just you could do it when Herm was coaching the Jets. Absolutely. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think Aaron Glenn would have been a great coach in 2005, 95. Tremendous. Now, does the physicality, does the imposing your will, that sort of thing, that message still matter in today's league? Of course, but it can't be the main dish. It has to be complementary. It has to come after the more important and valuable things are understood and realized and implemented first.
A couple super chats here. Then we'll get to some clips from the presser that the Jets are tweeting in SNY Jets. Welcome to something says, just don't let go of the rope. Man, I've heard that one before.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Oh yeah, we will never let go. Jetly, ministers of propaganda, not streaming. I mean, I don't know how you don't stream this, but whatever.
Yeah, I agree. They should be streaming this. I agree.
Do you think Morris and McCarthy would take no chance? Morris maybe would be a DC if he's got no other options. But he's getting head coaching interviews. McCarthy is not coming back to be an OC. He'll be a head coach this cycle in all likelihood.
Agreed. And Daboll, But has anyone heard from him at all since he got fired? No, right?
Reports were that the Raiders would be interested in him as the OC with Brian Flores maybe as the head coach. Brady's influence out there.
That would be interesting. Because Flores, defensive mind. Listen, I talk all this jazz about quarterbacks and offense dictating the terms in terms of efficiency in this league today. Defenses can't dictate terms. They all play the same. They play soft. They bend but don't break. They play red zone and efficiency, third down. But that doesn't disclude defensive guys from becoming head coach. We've seen it. 5 of the 14 in the playoffs are defensive. Still, that's a low number. But as long as the guy firmly grasps the landscape and he understands what's happening, then he could do it. And that's the point.
Connor Long says, just check. The Jets did stream it last year. So it's a calculated decision by this organization to not stream the coach and GM who signed 5-year contracts going into year 2, not stream their presser because of how big of a disaster year 1 was. And the comments would be overwhelmingly negative. That's weak. The Giants, say whatever you want about Joe Shane. He took questions from the media and they streamed that thing on their YouTube channel. And every comment in there was fire Shane. So I was trolling on the radio, Giants fans. I was like, extend Shane, extend Shane.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was a bit on the radio. But they streamed it. They streamed this presser.
Yeah, Leon. I don't know how Leon Rose gets away with it. Let's just say that. But because they've been good, because they play, and that's the point. So much of this stuff does not matter, and I get it. Listen, PR is a thing in every walk of life in terms of mega corporations. 100%.
Yep.
PR is a thing. You have to conduct PR at a certain base level. But the stuff like the McShay stuff with he was waxing poetic about the Raiders organization and pretty much crapping on the Jets. Now, whatever validity you think is there, it doesn't really matter, but just understand he was really waxing poetic about the Raiders. So whether it's true or not, who the hell cares? It's the NFL draft, number 1. Number 2, if you focus on the right things as an organization and you have on-field success, all that stuff goes away. So my message is McShay's message in terms of what he said about the Jets and drafted players and Dante Moore, quarterbacks not wanting to go there, true or not? I have no idea. Was it a little slanted the way he praised Mark Davis? Yes, it was ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it doesn't effing matter. Just focus on the things that will grant you the best success on field.
Also, Taylor, you were the biggest Aaron Glenn bootlicker ever. Shut up, dude. They have effed up so many streams. Just do it and release the video. Why does it matter to anyone except it matters to the fan base? All right, Taylor? Don't act like I'm alone for saying, wait, you're not streaming this when you did it last year and you stream everything else. Taylor Sterling, you are the official #1 Aaron Glenn bootlicker. We will see you later. Goodbye. I am not dealing with your nonsense anymore. All you do is simp for this head coach who is terrible. You're not objective. You won't ever say anything critical about the guy. Enough. See you later. Grab the rope and don't come back.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Bye.
Well, let's dive into like tangible stuff. Okay, week 1 they came out. Good game. Flying back and forth. Fields looked pretty good. Looked pretty solid. Asmaniacs wanted to kill me when I gave him like a D grade based on actual quarterback stuff, but notwithstanding, I shouldn't have brought it up. Week 2, they come out, you're feeling good, man, Buffalo, get this win. I hadn't seen a game plan get so destroyed in terms of tendencies in my life. They got taken to the woodshed. And again, it's not about like, were there different looks? Were there different formations? Of course, every OC is going to do that. But the tendencies were just wrapped around Buffalo's finger. They guessed first down on this series. We're run blitzing. We're coming off the edge because more than likely you're going to run it, and we're going to set you up in a 2nd and 12, stuff like that. And I think when you start to preach and communicate a team identity prior to even taking the field, other teams in the league might have an idea of what you want to do. So that's the stuff to look in the mirror in terms of.
Kevin, Super Chat, not streaming shows Woody knows fans are out on AG. Bino, not streaming the presser. It shields Glenn from the visual accountability. They know what the optics would look like. Coach talking about things he liked. Fighter Jet, Woody and the whole Jet organization are cowards. They only make them bigger jokes in the media and have fans turn on them in greater numbers. Let me get to a few more here. Then we're going to get to some actual clips I pulled. Frankie says, speaks volumes. I'm not streaming it. Red flag. Cashmere, who do you think will be better, Moore or Mendoza? We will get into that, Cashmere. We have months.
Yeah, it's interesting.
to get into that. Sorry says, hold the rope, Jake and Robbie.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Thank you very much, Sorry. And Jet Fan says, what is the bare minimum Glenn must accomplish next season to get a third year? I think at least 7 wins and the arrow pointed up with the young quarterback going forward. If not, he's gone. And then there's a strong chance they'll bring in an offensive coach for that player.
Yeah. And even further, I think you're spot on. And even further, just seeing a sea change in terms of the vision coming down from the head coach, seeing flexibility there. Keep your conviction in terms of building a culture, in terms of program building. Cool. But not strategy, not who your team is going to be on the field, not in terms of the actual X's and O's, in terms of the emotional, the characteristics, being tough and all that. Fine, keep your conviction, but not the way you play, not the X's and O's, not the game plan, not the scheme. No.
Well
It's gotta
said.
change. It's got to change.
Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a little visual of Glenn and the Mougey at the podium here. I got some clips that we will pull right off of Twitter. So you can see here my little X page. We'll start with the SNY Jets page here. Here's Darren Mougey and Glenn addressing the quarterback situation.
The quarterbacks played this year.
Make sure, let me know in the chat, assuming you guys can hear this, and I'm going to make it full screen for everyone. But as long as you can hear the question and the answer here, we'll be able to do it this way.
Yeah, we're going through that process this week as the whole roster. We're going to evaluate every position on the team. And obviously, we got to be better. We got to be better at several spots, quarterback included.
That's the one thing that we'll actually start going tomorrow. And I know the question that you were about to ask. Justin's on the contract. Brady's on the contract. But when it comes to quarterback, listen, we can always have the best guy. And that's always been the plan from the beginning. The guy that gives us the best chance to win. But to answer your question, he's on the contract.
Okay, so we got our first clip there. Let's keep it going. Ew, not ChatGPT. That's not helpful.
And while you're doing that really quickly. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting the best guy. I mean, that's the goal. But, and listen, I'm not condemning them. It's a short clip. It's a one sentence answer. So don't get it twisted. Yes, you want the best guy, but it's about making whoever you have better too. And I think that's the messaging I really, really want to hear.
Here's more from Mougey. This clip from Darren Mougey is Mougey talking about the Jets' offseason plans.
With players, met with players till about 7 p.m. yesterday. Had a lot of good conversations. Some of those meetings will continue to happen today. And then this afternoon, I will meet with the scouting staff upstairs. We'll go through the entire roster by position, hear the scouts, talk about our current roster, stack the players, and have a lot of good discussion into this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, we'll do a very similar process, myself and AG, with the coaching staff. Again, go through the whole roster, bring in the position coaches, talk in detail about each player, the vision moving forward for those players. That'll consume most of Wednesday. And then Thursday, myself and AG, again, we'll get together in private and talk further detail about off-season planning, what the roster might look like, some of our goals in the off-season, and that'll really kick it off. And I'm excited about the offseason as we go into it. Obviously, the draft capital we have, the cap space, and just being here now a year with AG, working with AG, the staff, getting to learn the staff, getting to learn the players, getting to learn this division. I feel more confident today than ever moving forward with what we have going.
I mean, again, the staff needs to change. So I don't really take anything of significance from that comment there because the coaching staff is going to change tremendously.
I'll say one thing quickly. Yeah, listen, you want to build the best roster possible. You want to grab the talent, but it's a tricky thing from this perspective. If you fool yourself that talent is the biggest issue, you'll never identify the true problem. You cannot fool yourself to believe that, hey, we got here and this team was just way overrated. They're not as good as as everyone thought.
This is going to be a doozy.
Okay, go for it.
Darren Mougey is asked about when the Jets will be competitive and respectable. Here we go.
How long do you think it will take to be competitive, to be respectable?
I believe we can be competitive and respectable right away next year.
Yes.
Good answer.
Yes.
What gives you that confidence? You said earlier that you're most confident. You have more confidence now than ever. What gives you the confidence?
Because I've been here a year. I've learned a lot. We've learned a lot. I've got a clear vision. AG and I, like we said, we talk daily on this roster and the vision in this division. And with the assets we have moving forward, the draft capital, the cap space, I know we're going to continue to build and add good players to the team that are going to help us win.
As we've talked about, though, Robbie, we'll continue to accentuate this. It is not just about personnel.
That's the trick.
It is all about coaching. Yes, personnel matters. We know the Jets need upgrades in several key areas, most notably quarterback. But coaching remains the biggest thing for this team.
Yeah, look. If you look at the 2002 Jets roster and you actually think wasn't that talented, it was a mirage, you're lost. Okay, they didn't have the quarterback, but that was not. It mattered for sure, but that was not the reason they failed. That was not flat out the reason they failed. They had a lot of talent. The whole entire football world wasn't incorrect all at the same time. They had a lot of talent. This isn't the pre-salary cap NFL where Jimmy Johnson, wasn't. I don't think he was the greatest on-field strategist. He was a collegiate recruiter. And he took that idea to the NFL and just built a stacked team, starting with the Herschel Walker trade. And once the cap came, he started, evening out a little bit. With Miami, he couldn't get anything done. The trap for the Jets right now is to make sure they don't fall into the trap of believing it's all about roster and talent. That is not it.
Here's Aaron Glenn reflecting on being a rookie head coach.
As a rookie head coach, and same thing as a GM, man, going through the first year and really understanding the landscape of everything, like that's a huge deal. I will tell you that right now.
Agreed.
I just got to pause this for a second.
Yep.
This is why I didn't want a first-time head coach. This is why this job was not for first-timers. Fall back on the first-time head coach nonsense. This is the exact reason why we all said this was not a job for first-timers. And this is not me blaming Glenn because he didn't hire himself. This is a Woody decision. Listening to Tannenbaum, listening to the 33rd team, hiring another first-time coach. And if you were going to hire a first-time coach, what was the biggest thing I said? I know personally a year ago when we had these conversations. Can the GM be someone with experience then? Right? Can Thomas Dimitroff, who was desperate for this job,
coordinator?
Right.
Or coordinator.
Someone with experience. And of course, the one experienced coordinator hire they make is Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, it's got to be offense. Yeah, it's got to be offense.
It's just unreal. Yeah, again, I'm already mad, but I'll finish the end of the answer here.
And speaking of myself, man, there's a number of things I know that I'll be better at. And again, I'm still doing self-reflection, but I know for a fact there are a number of things. And the confidence that I have in Mougey, the confidence I have in our owner, the confidence I have in myself, the confidence I have in some of the foundational players that we have, that's where the confidence really comes from, if that makes sense. And there's a clear vision. There's a clear plan on how we want to go about doing things. And you match that with Mougey, with our owner, the confidence I have in myself.
The kissing ass of Woody. We all know what he's doing. It just that's how you get a second year when 90% of the fan base wants you fired. Way to kiss ass.
Some of the foundational players that we have, that in itself to me gives like all the confidence in the world, man, that we're going to go in the right direction. Now there's some things we got to fix. Absolutely, we know that, and we'll fix those. We'll attack those the way we have to. But overall, man, I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to do the things we have to do to be successful.
I mean, okay.
Listen, from a on-field program building perspective, everything he said is spot on. Can't argue it. Cannot argue it. Again, he didn't mention anything team identity-wise, anything scheme, anything the way he wants to see his guys play on the field, probably because it's the offseason. They're talking about roster construction at this point. So, hey, I got no problem with anything he said there. No question. Nothing.
It's again, he's not saying anything specific though.
You're right. Like there's no opportunity to say anything specific. It's end of year, regular stuff. Like it's predictable.
Like there's nothing. Like there's just a lot of references to like how they're confident they have a plan, but we don't really know what the plan is. I'm pulling more clips here. That's all we have from SNY videos, but the Jets, they posted some fluff stuff on their socials, so we will pull that for you up right now, and we could react to some of those comments as well. Appreciate all of you being tuned in live.
By the way, what a tough job, Jets social.
Yeah. It ain't easy.
Hey, kudos to you guys. Hat tip from this cowboy. Oh my God.
It ain't easy. Why can't I find? Hold on.
Hey man, we take flack, like, and we're not associated with the organization. It's tough.
Let me pull it up here. Stand by, people. This is what happens when the Jets can't do the decency to their diehard fans and stream a end of year press conference. But I digress. We'll get to some cuts here from the Jets. If you're watching live right now, thank you. Please hit the like button. We got over 800 of you in the house. We have a raffle at the end of the show. I want Jet fans to have a chance to win something awesome. Signed Klecko jersey, signed Ravis jersey, signed Maynard jersey. Make sure you gift a channel membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher. That will get you 2 raffle tickets if you want to qualify, if you're watching on your phone and can't gift from your computer. All right, I have pulled up the Jets Twitter account here, and we could get into the discussion that way now. This is the New York Jets, and let's start with the first statement here, which is Darren Mougey, which these might be redundant because I don't know, what the Jets cut versus what SNY cut. So here we go.
I'm excited about the offseason as we go into it. Obviously, the draft capital we have, the cap space, and just being here now a year with AG, working with AG, the staff, getting to learn.
Now, we heard this, right? Let's do the next one. Here's Mougey on the quarterback situation.
I can tell you this, we'll exhaust every option.
Great.
Free agency, the league, obviously the draft, we will exhaust that and have a good solution for the New York Jets.
We're exhausting every option. Like Justin Fields coming back for another year.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough. Now, and it's just the entire and we talked about this, the entire process behind that last year. I feel like they painted themselves in a corner, an unnecessary corner in a lot of ways, and you don't start from zero. You start from -5. Like you don't, the decisions seem to be made in a way that doesn't give you the best chance to win. And that might not be the case this offseason. Like it had to go through hell, but it might not be the case. We'll see.
Here's Glenn on his DC search.
Man, I like to be aggressive.
That's fine.
I want to make sure that wherever the guy that we do have in, that there's a lot of synergy between me and that coach. And and I'm not saying that it wasn't synergy between me and Wilkes. It's just I want to make sure as I go through this process that that's not a step that that I don't miss. And it'll be a number of coaches that we take a look at. Man, I like to be aggressive.
Okay, so your thoughts on that? It sounds like he wants to hire a guy that.
I would love to know if that was the aggressive point was actually the first thing he said to the answer. And it seems like it was, but I don't know. You don't know with clip videos. The question, I assume, was what kind of DC are you looking for? What kind of traits? Nothing wrong with wanting to be aggressive as the head coach, as a former defensive guy. But again, that cannot be the major thing on the table where the bread is buttered in terms of who you're looking for in terms of DC. Look for a DC who fits the league like a glove. Look for a DC who understands that the give no inch attitude is out the window. That died with Rex Ryan in 2011, 2012. You got to look for a DC who says to you and has the balls to say to his head coach, hey, guess what? We're not going to be able to stop everything. If an offense executes perfectly and is doing so against the things that we're willing to give up to hang into a game, that's the type of guy you want to go for. In other words, give no inch is a thing of the past. You have to grab a guy who understands the league and says each week is going to be different. We're going to decide what to give up that week to that offense. And we have to guess on tendency. We have to guess on, okay, what do we think they're going to attack us with this week? And that's what we're going to not give up. That's what we're going to be really secure in. We're going to give up something to the flats, but we're not going to let go of the seam. It's got to be of that mindset. So forget aggression. Look for modern tendencies. Look for modern traits in a guy.
This clip is going to make a lot of fans angry. This is from the Jets Twitter account. This is Aaron Glenn on what his message to Jet fans is.
For our fans, listen, again, there's a vision that we have, and there's a trust that we have in that also. And I expect and I will want our fans to have a total trust in us and being able to do that. And we have to earn that too. And our plan is to do that.
He should start with that. You have to earn the trust of the fans.
Yes,
Don't tell us that you want us to trust you. You've done nothing. You're 3-14. You've looked dog shit. Excuse my language. Don't say we should trust you. No. Yeah. You don't get it. You don't get to say trust me, bro, when you go 3-14 and you look inept. But hey, man, congratulations on 0 field goals blocked this year. I've never been more embarrassed to be a fan of this team. Unreal.
It's in a lot of ways.
And we don't expect to have another season like this here.
You better not.
So we're looking forward to this offseason. Looking forward to getting to work and using the draft capital that we have and the money we have in free agency to continue to build what we've been trying to build. For our
again, I don't like that answer, man. Like, fall on the sword. It's not good enough. I expect our fans to be skeptical until we give them a reason to believe, and that's what we're going to do this offseason, and that's what we're going to do when the games count. Like, just there's so many better answers than that, but whatever.
In a lot of ways, I would, if I was in his circle, like, and I'm an objective person in a circle, I would say treat the fans the way you treat your players. And I think if you're a coach, you cannot ask your players to trust you from day one. You can't. It's a bridge too far. You have to say, I have to earn your trust, and I have to show you why you're going to trust me. So, he saved it at the end by saying we got to earn that. But again, it just, I think viewing the fans, and here's the tricky thing. New York media, Glenn came out when he got the job with a bit of an edge in terms of, hey, the New York media, they're going to attack me. I got to have my guard up. Don't worry about that. If you do your job and you take care of business, that stuff takes care of the rest. So that's another thing I would tell him. Don't worry about that so much. But yeah, there can't be any predetermined grace in terms of trusting.
Here's maybe an actual answer that will give us some insight. This is Aaron Glenn and Mougey. I don't know who answered. I'm just going to play it from SNY Jets on Breece Hall and if they want him back.
Do you guys want Breece Hall back?
We always.
Breece is a good player. I want as many good players back as we can. Like I mentioned, I met with probably 50 players yesterday. I met with Breece yesterday. Had a lot of good conversations. So we'll go through this process and we'll see how free agency unfolds. But we want to add good players. What's that? I won't get into hypotheticals and contracts and things like that. But we'll exhaust all different options and see where that ends.
I mean, again, if they want Breece back, the tag is available if they can't sign him.
Correct, and we know about the position. They're deep at the position. Isaiah Davis could absolutely be a player. Like, if Andy Reid had Isaiah Davis, he'd be doing work. Trust me. And, McVay, same thing. Braylon Allen come back from injury. So having those three would be a positive thing going into next year. No question. They got the space. So I think their intent is to try to bring him back. No question. Now, how does Breece feel? I don't know. I honestly don't know. We'll see what happens. What was the other thing? Shoot, there was something else on my mind. I forgot. But go ahead.
So far, I would say the biggest quote is Darren Mougey saying, I believe we could be competitive and respectable right away.
Great. Perfect answer. Honestly. And this is the other thing that they just keep falling to the same cycle of, and fans too. And I understand why fans do this because it's been hopeless for so long, for 15 years, just one winning season, no playoffs. It gets to a point where they repeat the pattern so much that everyone says, oh man, this is an impossible mission. Nothing short of, Mark Messier's clone in the football world could come in and turn this thing around. We need a messiah. We need, Herculean effort. So that's why a guy like Glenn, conquering hero, Jets legend, it makes sense. It fits the storyline and narrative that he's going to come back and save us. Parcells, we saw it with Leon Hess in 97. He saved us. Then he set up the next decade. That's not today's league anymore. That was pre-cap. That was before the rules exploded and allowed offensive coordinators to rule the roost. I mean, look at Sunday night, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. They're chugging along. They're playing it safe. No one wants to make a mistake. And then boom, suddenly at the end of the game, the offensive coordinator starts scheming guys wide open all over the place. If the teams acted like that all game, it would be 70-70 because you can't stop offenses that execute perfectly. It's just a matter of coming up with unique designs. Like Baltimore, they ran an unbalanced bunch formation to get Zay Flowers open on that second one, running a shallow and up or whatever. It's that stuff that allows you to change to turn the big ship very, very quickly. And you can't get into the mindset that the existing roster, existing personnel, even the quarterback can stop you. It can't. If you do the right things and you have the right perspective, you could do it.
This one is from Darren Mougey discussing personnel, offensive personnel.
I feel good. I feel good about the offensive line. I think that's the strength of ours.
Agreed.
It's a young group. I think with continuity in the group, they'll only continue to get better. I think we got a young tight end. I think we got a good tight end room. Obviously, we got Garrett. We had Brees. Got a good stable back. So I feel good about the offensive.
Again, referencing Brees when he's a free agent, that tells me he's either tagged or they're going to sign him.
Yeah, I think he
support on that side of the ball. I feel good. I feel good.
All right. So, I mean, again, what's crazy is the coaching is an abomination, but the personnel on offense is not terrible for a rookie to step into, assuming they add to it with the cap space and the draft capital they have. Again, the offensive line has 3 legitimate pieces, including bookend tackles. You do have a number 1 receiver. Brees, we could debate where he ranks among running backs, but we know he's a solid NFL running back. Braylon Allen will be back next year. Isaiah Davis is a nice complimentary third down back. Taylor's a decent tight end. He'll get better in year 2.
Yeah.
Like they have competency on that side of the ball. Mitchell looks like a player, but again, the coaching staff is an abomination. So that's the big fear.
Has anyone looked at the Steelers' offensive depth chart?
It's not any good.
Oh my God.
How's Aaron Rodgers doing that though, Robbie? I thought he sucks and it's terrible.
The priest threw holy water on the field. Don't you know? Like, that's why, my friend. Even the Pats, like, dude, that's not Lynn Swann and Stallworth out there. Like, Diggs, veteran guy, older. They had the foresight to say this guy could still play, even though he's old for a receiver. I like Boutte. I do like Boutte. Who's the third guy? Shoot. I forget already. But
calm your freaky down.
But the point is simple. Like, dude, it's not this Herculean effort, and Jets, don't fall into the trap. Jets fans and Jets organization, don't fall into the trap thinking it's all talent. It's not even close. The talent is so scary in terms of how evenly spread across every franchise that it's nuts. If it were truly about talent, the way the roster flips 33% each year, they would have accidentally fallen into good seasons, 2 or 3 over the last 15 years. That hasn't been the case. So what does that tell you? Just please face reality and keep that in mind.
Tells me it's a coaching league, man. It is a coaching league.
It is. And the offensive nerds are driving it. They are. We have to face facts. It hurts my heart as a defensive first guy who still coaches defense. It hurts me. I cry in the corner at nights, but I'd rather face the facts and be a positive driver of success than holding on to the days that were and continuing to wake up miserable. That's the way it is.
Here's more from Glenn and Mougey's presser. I don't know who said this quote, but it's about not doing a good enough job in year 1.
I put a lot of it on
Mr. Accountability.
me as far as just the wins and losses. And I would really say it like that. I put a lot of it on me on the wins and losses, and I have to do a better job. And I'm not going to sit here and blame on the roster. I'm not going to sit here and blame on the coaching staff. I'm going to blame on the guy that's sitting right in front of you, and I got to do a better job. And I'm always say that, and until I get the whole situation situated, then we'll be better, which I know we will next year.
See, that's the thing. Why bring it up then? If you're not going to blame it on the roster, why raise the point? This is the thing I don't understand. He did it with the injuries and he did it with Brady Cook. Don't bring it up. Don't. If you're not going to blame it on the roster, no one. I mean, I didn't hear the question, to be fair. So maybe the question, they referenced the roster. I'll give grace there. But from the start was a good answer. It was a good answer, but don't bring it up if you're not going to blame it on the roster. See, that tells me that he's thinking about the roster and thinking that it's not good enough. And whether it's true or not, it's just not the way. It's not the way to go about it.
Some takeaways from Jet X's Nick Faria, who is on site covering this doozy of a presser that the Jets don't even have the audacity to stream live for their fans. Nick says some final thoughts. Based on Glenn's answer, I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Jets look at Wink Martindale for their DC role. Fits the man blitz role that Glenn runs.
3-4.
Thinks there's a reason to be more confident in Mougey's plan. in Mougey's plan than Glenn at this point. He sounds and acts like a good GM. So Nick believes Mougey sounds and acts like a good GM. Okay. Really no major answer regarding the future of the roster. All eyes on the offseason. The word culture was brought up a lot last offseason to the detriment of the organization. Nothing of that sort today. This group knows they need to win next year or major changes are coming.
Robby sits in the shower like Ace Ventura. Yeah, no, I heard you. I'm a multitasker.
I was going to say, I'm glad to see you're paying attention to your own
Yeah. No, he thinks Mougey sounds and acts like a GM. Yeah, listen, it's
he looks like a GM. He's got the quarter zip going.
He does look like a GM. Yeah, dude, he's what is he? 6'6", 6'5"?
Yeah, when I met Mougey at the combine last year. He is my God, he is 6'5", 6'6" easily. And he played quarterback in college, so that does give me maybe a little glimmer of hope that he knows what he's doing.
Yes, I like that. Still the best position that I found out a coach plays. It blew my mind, and I love it. And I think this is going to be the next stud in the NFL, head coach, Kubiak. He's run into the right guys in the NFL. He has quarterback coaching experience, and he played safety. That is just I'd be shocked if he doesn't turn out to be a monster head coach.
Unreal. I think that's all we have from this presser, unless I see anything else that's posted by the Jets. I think we covered basically the most of it here. I don't know why they couldn't live stream this thing. The whole thing sounds like it was like 10 minutes or less, but
yeah, the transcripts, we'll see what happens. I'm sure there'll be a lot of coverage at JetX, no question.
100%. Hey, let me shout out our guy, Felix. He's one of the greats. He sent in a 10 spot of channel memberships. He's in the raffle for 10. Let's go, Felix.
The field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
Felix, thank you. I will add you. We got the raffle at the end of the show today, folks. We have an exciting opportunity where you can enter to win a Maynard signed ball, Revis signed jersey, and a Klecko signed jersey, all at the end of today. And 2 for the price of 1. You get entered in next week's raffle if you enter during the show for the Super Bowl III frame ticket, plus the Joe Namath signed helmet and a replica Joe Namath Super Bowl III championship ring. This one's from Mike Perez, who says, Jake, I don't know how you open X/Twitter. The disgusting things I'd seen posted about you makes my stomach turn. You keep shit real, and that's why we tune in.
You get attacked?
Oh, I've been getting destroyed all year. Yeah.
I would help you, but I tend to stay away from Twitter conversations.
People can say whatever they want. When people accuse me of being racist because I'm critical of a 3-14 coach who's been inept, that's where I get annoyed. When Brian Flores was my preference last year for the Jets to hire, and I'm like the biggest Mike Tomlin fan and was arguing with Jet fans who wouldn't trade the first round pick a year ago for Tomlin. Remember that argument on the show?
It hurts the heart, man, when people go to that. It's frustration, dude.
So
social media, we're going to look back on this era and realize, holy crap, did we screw up humanity with social media? Honestly, it's going to be that bad.
And the toothpaste is out of the tube. There's no going back.
Yeah.
Shout out J-Boy. He's in the raffle for 1. Thank you, J-Boy. Let me get caught up on some super chats now as we just played you all the clips that we have from the presser of all pressers. This one is from Matt L. who says, once again, ownership is not thinking. The longer we wait, teams are putting dibs in to speak with the best coaches available. All we have is trust. Yeah, look, Glenn's coming back. You're not going to fire him if you're going to let him speak to the media at the end of season presser. He's lucky that Woody Johnson owns the Jets. Most teams in the NFL would have fired this coach. The Jets are not well run, so we are stuck with him for another year. Yeah. And I hope as a Jet fan, he proves me wrong, and he's a great coach because I want what's best for the Jets. I'd rather be wrong if it means the Jets are beneficial than the other way around.
Yeah, you got to wonder about the process. Again, it's about the process. And Woody, when he's interviewing guys, and he said as much at the owner meetings, I forgot what he said, but does he interview guys based on whether or not they motivate him individually? And he feels like, oh man, this guy, he knows how to give a great speech. He's making me want to run through this wall. Is it that? And that's why the pattern continues? If it is, I think really you got to start looking at it a little bit more logically. Like, what are the traits that get it done? Listen, I know he was overseas and Chris was running it, but McCarthy didn't interview well, quote unquote. That was a report in 2019.
Yep.
What are you looking for the correct traits when hiring guys? That's the thing that they gotta sort out.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Daniel Murphy earlier wanted to know, Wink Martindale, do you think he is the type of DC they should look for or not, Robbie?
I'm cool. Listen, Wink is excellent defensive play caller. Even
I'll
in
tell you
today's,
what, they're going to get turnovers next year. Wink's the DC, you'd think.
yeah,
That's his
it'll
reputation.
be high risk, high reward. It fits AG's aggression. Difference is he's a 3-4 guy. AG's a 4-3 guy. But again, to tell you how the times have changed, the times are changing. Bob Dylan, 3-4-4-3 doesn't matter much. It doesn't matter much anymore. Back in the day, it would take 2 seasons to overhaul the personnel. These days, you could do it on a dime because it's 11 personnel. It's nickel, so there's a lot of 4-man fronts. There could be 3-man fronts at times and 3-4 more often. Over whatever you want to do. So it doesn't matter as much. The thing I worry about is the personality clash. That's the thing that instantly comes to mind. Because Daboll and Wink, could there be a repeat? We'll see. I don't know.
Jet fans, do you believe the Jets can be competitive and respectable in 2026? Darren Mougey says yes. What say you?
I'll lay out the plan here for it to be competitive. Glenn, and by the way, let's track Glenn's history. He muffed those 3 punts in his first NFL action.
Do me a favor. You
Yeah.
lay out the plan. I'm running to the bathroom real quick.
You go for it.
All right.
He muffed those 3 punts in 94. Got off to the worst start of any rookie in a long time, and the Jets didn't just draft him as a corner. They drafted him as a returner. That was a big thing coming out of A&M. So he rebounded. He recovered. He didn't let that characterize his career. He figured it out. Same thing at this level. He started at scout. He was willing to accept that post, worked his way up, and got to this point. He's been around Ben Johnson. He's been around Campbell. When I say like guys like Glenn or someone else, they're not doing the best thing to give their team the best shot at success, the percentage chance. It's true, but that's not to say he doesn't understand the league. He understands the league. He sees what's happening. But the broad spectrum for what you have to do to take advantage of it is so broad and so wide. And I think for it to turn around, he's got to really, really look at himself in the mirror, do some soul searching. Not going to drop the conviction in terms of program building, culture, communication, all that stuff. Coaches need it. They won't drop it. They can't drop it, or they won't have success. But he's got to drop the conviction for team identity. Stop it. Look around the league. Tell Engstrand, you are my guy. You are just as valuable as me, if not more so. And you take the reins off if there were restrictions and you let him work. And everything you do game plan wise, it's around Engstrand, the offense, and quarterback efficiency. Meaning, hey, it's great. Banjo and special teams were great this year. How much practice time are you expending on that? And if you look at it and you think it's too much, does it match the old days? Does it match what everyone else is doing today? If it's more, then you're doing something wrong. You could have great special teams. You could have a great rushing attack, top 6 or whatever it is. You have 3 wins. So figure out what gives you the best chance to win and drop the conviction in terms of team identity and all that stuff and all brand. If Glenn does that, they get the right quarterback. Mougey's great with personnel, and Engstrand truly is a stud and molds himself into a stud. That's the path forward. Oh, Jake's not back yet. Jake, everyone guess. You think it's 1 or 2? What do you think?
No, it was a 1. Come on now. Come on now.
This ghost wipes where you could go quick.
Thinking is overrated.
You just got to let it rip, baby.
Yeah.
Let it rip. Some super chats here. This one is from Fighter Jet. Woody and the whole Jets organization are cowards. This will only make them bigger jokes in the media and have fans turn on them in even greater numbers. Chris, super chat in the raffle for 2. I thought of this too late in the season, but in honor of Beningo, I'm going to do one of these every time they make someone look like an all-time great. The Jets made Trubisky look like Jack Kemp.
Jack Kemp. Who pulls out a Jack Kemp reference? Oh, my God.
Jordan, super chat. He is in the raffle for 2. I can't see the Jets taking Moore, not playing him next year. If you think next year's a good QB draft, then you need to know what you have now with Moore. If you don't like Moore now, then wait. Look, if he's available, I think they're going to take him, and he will play at some point. I think the idea is for him to not have to start right away if he's certainly not ready. Don't put Dante Moore out there until there's been at least 6 to 8 games that have been played in an ideal world. But if they get off to a terrible start, Glenn will pull the lever of going to the rookie to try and save his job. It's what Dable did with Dart.
True. And we'll never know this, but what would be the worst sign is if they like more, Mougey likes more, and Glenn bypasses him. That would be a terrible sign. But we'll never know. That's the thing. So, yeah, I think they will draft more. I think it's – and by the way, I've only started to really dig into the tape the last 2-3 weeks.
You like more?
I don't see this more, yes, he has less experience. He started like 20 games as opposed to Mendoza's 30. But the way he handles pressure, the way he handles and navigates the pocket and slides and keeps his eyes locked downfield, it's really, really impressive stuff. In other words, I don't know, man. It's still a work in progress. I'm still watching a lot, but more might be ready-made for day one, a lot more than people think. And by the way, I think there's a great chance the Raiders take him instead of Mendoza.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just assumes Mendoza's going to
want
it. I think that's crazy.
That's a crazy assumption. It really is.
Let's see. Matt L says not being specific in the presser means they don't want to say anything to be accountable for, or they have no answers.
Listen, no matter what you feel about Glenn as a head coach, about what they did this year, it's a tough spot in terms of being objective. So totally get it. 100%.
Sandro writes in, Jake, the foundation will be built brick by brick, not with brick by brick, not with pillars. Pillars have hollow foundation. Let AJ and Mougey build the team and stop your hate. Stop my hate. You know what I won't do? I will not stop my, quote, hate, because it's not hate. I'm a Jet fan. But I am fairly critical and not going to serve softballs and just try and tell you guys it's all good when it's not. Aaron Glenn just led one of the worst seasons in football history, not Jet history, football history. Over the last 25 years, from 2001 to 2025, 29 first-time head coaches won 4 or fewer games in their debut season. Glenn's now part of that group. Only 2 of the previous 28 ever went on to win a playoff game in their careers. One of them is Zach Taylor. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback in Joe Burrow. The numbers from the season only make it harder for Glenn to actually prove that he knows what he's doing. It would be such an extreme outlier for him to turn this around. That's my point. They became the first team in NFL history to lose 5 straight games in a single season by at least 23 points. They're the first team to lose by 20 points or more in 5 straight games since the 1972 Patriots. They also finished the season, maybe you didn't know this, without recording a single interception, which is a statistic the NFL has tracked since 1933. Against the AFC East, they went 0-6 and lost by an average point differential of 20.3. It was the worst divisional point differential in the current division format since 2002, trailing only the 2009 Rams. And Aaron Glenn joins a list with only 2 other Jet coaches, Rich Kotite and Adam Gase, as Jet coaches that lost 14 games or more at any point in their tenure. So again, the Jets have a coach who was horrific at hiring his coaching staff, horrific at developing his quarterback. This was what he wanted in his quarterback.
What do you look for in a quarterback? Like, what's an Aaron Glenn quarterback?
A winner.
Signs Justin Fields, who has the worst winning percentage of any quarterback who started the amount of games he started in the history of the league. He's bad at deploying schemes. He's horrific at player development, which he said it was all going to be about player development this year.
Coaching. It's coaching. Because he can do it. It's just coaching. That's all it is.
Coaching. Bad at clock management, bad at in-game decisions. This man didn't know how long the game-winning field goal was at the end of the game in London this year. So again, don't call it hate. Call it being objective and being honest. I will root for Aaron Glenn. I hope he proves me wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and act like just because he's coming back, that means like I'm hating for being critical and upset with the decision. I'm a Jet fan who spends 4 hours a day talking about this team on a show on YouTube that fans could voice their opinions on. I'm voicing my opinion. I don't think he's any good, and I think it's a huge mistake, and I don't think we're going to win enough next year to prevent the fact he's probably getting fired after 2026, and I'm just trying to be proactive and get ahead of it when there's good coaches available right now that can help the Jets as they're about to draft a quarterback 2nd overall in all likelihood.
Yeah, listen, hate is reserved for hate without reason, without ample reason and evidence. When, again, after week 1, when you go into week 2 and you get pantsed at the middle of the field at the 50-yard line, that's substantial stuff, man. Like, that is everyone listening, how many of you watched the tape of week 2, Buffalo Jets? And if you did, tell me what you saw. because it's the equivalent of I don't even know how to describe it, honestly. It's like it's the most stubborn idea of how to play. And again, in 1988, you could do it. You could pull it off. Not today. If your tendency doesn't break in terms of play calling, you're going to get smashed. So if you want to call that hate and it makes you sleep better, go for it.
Well said. Big fella says,
man.
confidence
well,
in the
my
owner
friends.
should be disqualifying. Yeah. I mean, Glenn's just kissing ass at the boss there. That's what that is. JN says, pick 2 Dante Moore for Kyler. Oh, my God.
What is that?
He's saying, so the Jets would trade the 2nd pick for Kyler and get the 3rd pick and a 2020. Oh, okay. You know what? This is not as egregious. Let me think about this. So the Jets, they trade pick 2. They get Kyler and the 3rd pick and a 1 next year. I mean, if the Jets don't like Dante Moore, that's intriguing, is it not? Kyler's the bridge. You could draft someone. Maybe you draft Simpson with the Colts pick or someone in the 2nd round, and I get an extra 1 next year.
Yes.
Yeah, and I almost killed you for this, but then I read your full super chat and understood it. It comes down to the Jets' evaluation on Moore. If they believe in Dante Moore, you take him.
Correct. It's a great idea. And by the way, I got Simpson close to Moore and Mendoza right now. Those 3 are very clumped together. They're very clumped together. So that's a great idea, I think. And if you really like Simpson, you get him in the mid first for sure.
Let's see. AP says, if the Raiders can fire a Super Bowl winning coach, why can't Woody do the same? Next year, we'll be doing the same thing with a new coach. Well, because that's what good organizations would do, AP. And I'm not sitting here telling you the Raiders are a good organization, but they're setting themselves up with the 1st pick in the draft to get it right around that player. Better than the Jets are.
Yeah. It stretches back beyond before Glenn. Let's be real. It's the same message over and over and over again. And it just never breaks the pattern. Steve Young said it on K. You get to a point where you're speechless because you see everything that's happening around the league. You can't argue with the evidence, yet it's the equivalent of banging your head against the wall.
Unreal. Matt says, we read that one. Let me make sure we get caught up. Terry says, Jake, have we heard from the brilliant one yet? Clueless Woody. Woody has not spoken.
Thinking is overrated.
To be honest, I don't know if we need to hear from him because it's just every time he speaks, it gets worse.
Think about this. After the Tampa game, was that week 3 or week 4?
Week 3.
They almost won, almost pulled it out of the fire with McDonald, the block kick.
Oh, my God. Wait, breaking news. Hold on. Holy shit. Aaron Glenn, please, for the love of God, I will not say anything negative about you for a while if you could get this done. Whatever. The Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury are parting ways. Please. Either fire Glenn and hire Cliff as the head coach or hire Cliff as the offensive coordinator and let him work with the quarterback. Let him be the OC for Moore or Mendoza. For the love of God, Commanders are parting ways with Cliff. Please hire this guy and get him on the Jet coaching staff for the love of God.
Yeah, I like Cliff. Are there rumors about the Raiders and Kubiak, or who'd you say? Flores?
Brian Flores, yep.
Brian Flores. Yeah, listen, Kubiak, Kingsbury breaking free is definitely, it's a big thing. It really is. I can't disagree with anything you said. I'd be very, very extremely interested. People see, here's the problem they run into. They look at Kingsbury. He's not a rah-rah guy, make you run through the wall. Neither is most of the coaches in the playoffs right now, by the way. Look at him. And you think, he's ordinary. He's vanilla. Yeah, in terms of how we view football in the past 50 years, yes, but not in the past 5 years. That's the key. And I think that's the logic that you have to come to the party with.
Just, again, I don't know why he's available. I don't know what happened. Maybe there's some issues behind the scenes there, but Cliff's track record, look at the quarterbacks he's worked with. College and in the pros.
Where did he move to after he got fired from Arizona? Didn't he go on an extended vacation to Fuji or something?
He took a year off.
Yeah, I don't even know what kind of personality he is, to be honest, but I don't care. He gets it done and he gets the league. He understands the league and what gives him the best chance.
Please hire Cliff Kingsbury as fire Tanner Engstrand, demote him, make him the pass game coordinator, whatever. I don't care. Get a real OC.
You got to wonder who spearheaded that. He met with Dan Campbell today. Oh, not Dan Quinn. You got to wonder. I don't know. Jaden Daniels getting hurt is a big deal. You'd think he'd want to run it back. And
Joe Witt fired too. So the Commanders are firing both their
coordinators
or making changes. Joe Witt interviewed for the Jet job, by the way. Another brilliant 3013 recommendation.
Yeah, it's interesting. Quinn, listen, I like Dan Quinn as a head coach, but it's funny how things get viewed. You know, Stroud was viewed as the next Montana after his first year. Same thing with Jaden Daniels last year. Again, these quarterbacks fluctuate from year to year. They don't gradually improve and develop like in the old days. They're wild fluctuations year to year, which tells you it's a very dumbed down league, like Bart Scott said, and you could work with a lot of different quarterbacks and have him succeed. So I think Kingsbury is one of the guys who understands that.
I don't know why Cliff would want to work for Aaron Glenn, but if he has any interest, if the Jets could just give him a huge check to be the offensive coordinator, that's the type of hire that Glenn needs to try and save his job. Like that specific type of move is exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Desperately.
What jobs are open? Raiders? Who else?
Raiders, Giants, Titans, Cardinals, Falcons. By the way, Kingsbury's a former Jet, so fire Glenn, make him the head coach, and there we go, Jet fans. For those of you saying we got to keep Aaron Glenn because he played for the Jets 30 years ago, here's Cliff Kingsbury, who also played for the Jets as well.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just glad something broke while I was on, other than something Alan Lazard related. Thank you.
How's his pulse? I checked in on that.
Where's Castro? We got to find Castro.
Oh, my God. Please, for the love of God. Please, for the love of God.
You're hyping yourself up now. I hate to see it.
Let's see. Spencer Green says, Jake gonna smile soon. He loves AG, low-key trust. Spencer, lay off the drugs. Appreciate you. Steven with a super chat. Jake, we love you. Shout out Sabo, keeping it real as always, brother. Absolutely.
Yeah, keep it real. Yep.
That's all we could do. Matthew Dawkins in the house. Super chat. Mougey needs to take charge of the QB situation. He was a backup to Kevin O'Connell in college. I think he needs to hire McCown as the OC and demote Tanner to assistant OC. Or fire Glenn, tell Kevin O'Connell resign, leave Minnesota, and come be the Jet coach, baby.
Kevin O'Connell? Yeah, that would be hey, but that would be nice. And listen, I'll live and die with O'Connell, but it's an interesting thing that McCarthy hasn't worked out. And it's direct evidence against what I've been saying. Like you could take a quarterback and make it work. But sometimes, as we saw, Jets fans with Zach Wilson, sometimes it doesn't always work. It's just that the percentages are much bulkier. Like in the middle, the median, you could make it work with guys who aren't as great as opposed to in the past. In the past, the guy had to be a super stud talent, and the talent alone drove it. These days, that's not really the case. And if it were, Brock Purdy wouldn't be doing what he's doing in San Fran, among many examples.
Zach says the other day, his press conference, he said he's confident in his system and vision. Just shows how stubborn he is and not adjusting to the modern NFL.
The end of
Brandon Pound. NFL equals chess game.
Yeah, there was something I liked putting the accountability on him at the Buffalo end of game presser. I liked that. I hated the I know what wins and it will not waver from thinking that. Like, I know what wins in this game, blah, 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 blah. That's the stuff, I think. And listen, he could change it. He's got to look deep within, though. That would be my advice. And this is nothing. If I were in front of Glenn, this is the exact thing I would be telling him.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Some more super chats coming in. Terry says, did you see Nania's article on Jets special teams?
He loves that special teams. It's like, remember when someone asked Bill Belichick about the long history of the long snapper?
Yeah.
And he gave like a 17-minute. Yeah. Nania, he's got a thing with the long snapper and special teams. Hey, special teams was great. Instead of lauding it, this is the thing with the Jets and Glenn. Instead of lauding it and applauding it, you got to think time management. Did I commit too much time to it in today's game? That's the pivot. You always have to challenge yourself in those ways.
Matt L check it in. Hey, 5 raffle entries. Let's go, baby. It's coaching.
The speed last year we saw a lot of with Will.
Yep.
The spins, the coming around the edge. The power that he put on, I don't know if you need the replay if you haven't seen it yet, but he went over him at one point in that. Is that even a new element to his game when you said he added some weight?
Coaching.
Is that now what he can do?
Coaching. It's coaching.
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Because he can do it. You just said he's never done it last year, right?
Not much.
Now you see him do it. Just coaching. That's all it is.
Just coaching, baby.
I remember that play. I remember that play. I was there on the field, and it was like a speed to power, left end, just out one quick outside step to power inside. Mimba was sort of, I wouldn't say Mimba was off balance, but it was like he was brand new, rookie, first week. I remember it well. I remember that play well, and then the presser. Yeah, the point.
And when he was so cocky and arrogant, like in that cut, and then
the point I brought up earlier about Tampa at the end of the game. This connects to McDonald. He said at the end of the Tampa game they lost. One thing we proved is we're not the same old Jets. Okay, however you feel about that is fine. Here's where my mind goes. In his mind, that messaging, that communication, that feeling, those emotions, he does that for a reason because he believes that's what's gonna take his team to the next level. The problem is it's not 1998 anymore. That's the thing. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It does. Even in today's game, if you get off to a good start, the locker room feels better. You're mixing it up. You're feeling better. You're playing above your talent level. It could work, but you can't start there, and it can't be your only deal. And I'm just seeing too much of that without the other things, the tangibles that really matter in terms of what wins.
Ted Ruggiero. Ted, thank you. You're the man. You're in the raffle for 5.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Don't let go. Got a super chat from our guy, the big fella. Breaking: Hendon Hooker found fishing with Roger Saffold in parts unknown. Another player signed but never played.
Roger Saffold.
The great Roger Saffold signing the day of the trade deadline. That was the Jets' big move.
Jeez, I don't remember that one.
It was an all-timer. Let me post a call-in link, by the way. Let me throw that in there. By the way, Robbie, if you got to run at any point.
No, I'm good. I'm pretty free today. I'm going to be doing after this. I'm going to be doing a lot of quarterback tape. I just put something up on Dante Moore on X right now.
You like Dante Moore? I know you do.
Yeah, I like Dante Moore right now. I'm hesitant to come out with like official rankings. It's way early in the process, but for real, Simpson, Moore, and Mendoza, I think are they're much closer than people think. It's where we fool ourselves is watching these college games and not thinking situation enough. That's how Mahomes goes 10. That's how Josh Allen goes 7. That's how these things happen. Dart, for example, we got to think situation. And I'll tell you, if Cignetti declared and you could draft college coaches, I would draft him number 2 with Shanahan, with his staff. They create such an advantage. It is obscene. My mind is still blown from the Rose Bowl. And I'm not trying to crap on Mendoza. Believe me, that's not my thing. I see a lot of good things with Mendoza. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do like Moore. I must admit.
It's coaching, man. It's coaching.
Coaching. It's coaching.
Like, what do you mean?
Because he can do it. Just coaching. That's all it is.
Yeah, better get some coaching for Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza. Big Will says, if a QB in the draft shows their dissatisfaction with playing for the Jets, but they like him, should they draft him? Yeah.
Yeah, they can't do anything. Like, again, back to the McShay stuff, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I understand this in PR. You don't want that negative stuff out there, but handle your business. Go about it the right way. Give yourself the best odds at success. And that stuff doesn't matter. Doesn't. Draft him. Move forward.
Jetstream checks in. Kingsbury is definitely someone they should at least reach out to, and even if he wants a lesser, there's no chance he'd want to be a QB coach. He's either an OC or he'll get head coaching interviews now.
I think
sure.
he'll probably.
The Raiders should hire him. That'd be a good hire because you're going to take Mendoza or more, at least get that quarterback set up properly, and then hire Brian Flores as your DC.
I'll root for Kubiak to not get a job secretly. Honestly,
so we can be the Jet coach in 2027.
Just keep him just in case. Yeah, keep him in the back pocket.
Jetstream, I got you in the raffle for 5. Now, for those who missed the show yesterday, we had an agreement that was made on the air. Chuck Wagon, one of our loyal callers, has been considering shaving his head and taking the plunge and going full bald. He didn't want to necessarily do it, so a caller named Jetstream, who was always supporting the show, we just read a super chat there, said he too would shave his head and go bald. So now's the moment of truth. Both gentlemen are on the line. So it is time to find out how exactly this is all going to go down. Hit it.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Oh, he did it. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
You look good, dude. That looks fantastic on you, Wagon. Love it, Chuck.
Thank you. And I looked at the man and I'm like, oh, I look like a younger Robert Sabo.
You could be Salah for Halloween now. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta go to the gym and work my arms a little more, and yeah, I'll be just like him. Just a lot shorter.
Golf. Play a little golf. Yeah.
Chat loves it, Chuck Wagon. Everyone's saying great things. Ted says your wife will like you again.
Yeah. Probably.
You question that.
Here we go. Love that. Well, I'll tell you what, Jetstream said he was going to shave his head too as a sign of support. So let's say hello to Jetstream 1989 who joins us. What's up, Jetstream?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? How we doing today?
What do you think of the Wagon's head?
I love it, man. I love it. Now, I wasn't able to like shave it just because I don't trust my wife with a razor. But I got it down pretty good here. So
wow, he did. He did cut the hair. Look at that.
Yeah, I took it down. So it's down. But again, it grows back, and I did something that Aaron Glenn hasn't, which is follow through. So I mean, what can you do?
I love it.
I did this all on my own. I did it this morning all by myself.
Good for you, brother.
It's a talented man right there.
There you go.
I had to use my phone with the mirror to just check the back of my head, and it looked good. So.
Oh, very nice, brother.
Yeah.
It's better than me. I look like a damn skunk. My bet. Look at this.
Dude, seriously, it looks really good on you, though, Chuck. Man, like for real, dude. You look good.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I think it does look better, than what what little hair I did have.
You're
and
kind of
actually,
questioning it, though. You're kind of questioning it. You're unsure, I think.
I am. It is wintertime. I am a little colder than normal, but I just wanted to let Jake know. In celebration of the Jets not having a field goal blocked, I baked a cake and sugar cookies today.
Now that's a celebration worth noting.
Yep. And I got the frosting behind me and some chocolate chips. So, yep. I thought that we should all celebrate because, we're 7th in rushing, or top 10 in rushing. And no kick blocks and all this positivity. But to be honest, and this is a question for Robby Sabo, do you think the Jets are waiting to see what the Ravens and Steelers do with Harbaugh and Tomlin?
No.
You don't think there's a chance, even if they get rid of them, that they'll be like, oh, bye, AG,
Correct. I don't think there's a chance. No, he's coming back. Listen, I'll never say never to anything. But no, that is not their intention. Glenn's coming back. He's the guy. But reserve the very, very small percentage of a chance that like maybe a Mangini situation arises where something goes awry in the personal relationship. That's it.
And with all those hugs every day, that's probably not going to happen then.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
There's a lot of science behind hugs. It warms the heart.
That warms the heart. Beast Breaker joins us now. Beast, what do you think of the situation here with the Chuck Wagon?
Let's see the cake first.
Oh, of course.
Cake, please. Let's take a look. Let me take a look at it, please. Very nice. Very good. Take a knife.
Right to the cake.
Take a knife, slice, and let's take a look at it.
No, I got to let it cool. Let it cool.
Very delicious. That looks spontaneous. Those cookies look very delicious.
Are you talking with an English accent? What the hell are you doing?
Yes, he is.
Yes, Robby. He does that every time I come on and I'm cooking. He comes in with the English accent for some reason.
Do it slowly.
It's almost offensive.
And make sure. Did you use a non-stick pan? Mr. Chuck Wagon, did you use a non-stick pan? I'm asking you.
Yeah, I sprayed it. Yeah, I sprayed it with
very good. Make sure.
And I got 2 flavors.
Nice and slow. And then when you take it, make sure check the bottom of the cake. When you do that, you get under the cake, take a look, nice shot. It's good. That's perfect.
It is springy.
Let me see. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Take a look at that shot.
Hold on.
Wide open shot.
Hold on. I flipped it over.
Oh my goodness! But
Whoa.
that is perfect. Look at that freaking cake. It's amazing, dude. You could definitely cook for
Volcano
wonders.
exploding.
You're amazing. You're perfectly amazing. You should have your own TV show.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't.
Chuck Wagon to have his own television show. I think so.
Well, I don't remember ever baking before.
Perfect. Look at him. He's
Hey,
fucking amazing.
Beast. Can I
You are
talk?
amazing.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
No, I don't normally bake. This was honestly the first time. I don't think I've ever baked cookies like this, homemade before, and the cake. Like I said, just because a person can cook doesn't mean they can bake. Just because a person can bake doesn't necessarily mean they can cook. And they can suck at both or they're great at both. But I'm actually pretty pleased with how this cake came out. And like I said, let it cool and then just put frosting on it and dig in.
Hey, Mike says enough
There
about
you
the
go.
cake. He doesn't care.
Let it-
Mike,
let it-
would
let
you
it
like to
rest.
hear about
Let it
Aaron
be.
Glenn some more? I didn't think so. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jetstream, tremendous job out of you. Way to inspire the Chuck Wagon. And Jetstream, I forget what raffle prize you want. I have it in my notes, but I plan on sending it out to you today. So appreciate all your support, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate it, man. Just remember, Chuck, dude, just keep it on, dude. You know,
Ladies
I
and
mean, if
gentlemen,
you can be a Jets fan and you can survive anything, brother.
well said.
Pretty much.
Jetstream checking in. Beast, thank you. Chuck Wagon, I think you have never looked better. This is a great thing for you.
It actually looks good. Yeah.
Your
with
eyebrows are
what
more
left
pronounced, I must say.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I stayed away from the eyebrows when I was shaving and with a razor. So
It's solid.
Yeah.
It is.
Big fella says, Jake, put this towards an Asmaniac beanie for Chuck to keep his head warm this winter. Chuck Wagon, you have my email. Email me an Asmaniac or Jake Asman Show beanie you want from jakeasman.com. Let's get you a beanie for that gorgeous, bald, beautiful head of yours.
Thanks, big fella. That's very nice of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chuck Wagon.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
All right, good luck following that one up. There's maybe only one man on the line who could even give us a shot at doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and get ready for an extraordinary phone call.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know, women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
You know what would make this offseason like a 10 out of 10? Like
You shaving your
5-star?
head? You shaving your head?
I'm not sure. That, Robbie, you got great hair. When you have great hair, that's arrogant, right? I mean, it's just arrogant. I
Agreed,
can't
yeah.
do it. It's disrespectful to my ancestors who gave me tremendous hair. The hair is extraordinary. It's shaving it would be disrespectful and arrogant. I can't do it, Robbie, and neither should you.
I agree. Listen, when you agree, you agree. Yeah.
The good people's hair. We got to start a club of people with good hair. Me and you will be president. Yeah.
Yeah. Salah, not welcome.
No.
Yeah.
All
How
right.
about Jake? How about the red hair people? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Jake wears a hat too much. I don't wear a hat. Robbie doesn't wear a hat too often.
I'm a hat. See, I'm actually a hat dude myself. Like, just not
Alright.
not inside. So I can't. Am I still welcome?
You can't wear the hat in the good hair people club. There's no hats allowed because we have good hair. Why are we wearing hats? If you're outside fishing or barbecuing and it's sunny, I mean, there's exceptions. There's plenty of exceptions, but in general, we don't wear hats too often.
Ted's mad that Robbie wore a hat to the Tampa meetup this year.
Yeah, dude. Like, at camp, when covering the team, yeah, I'm a hat dude. I am. I must pull back my application. I got to admit.
I do have a couple of things. First, what would make this offseason perfect is Spencer Rattler and Cliff Kingsbury. That would be like 10 out of 10. Like
Who
that would
is
be
Spencer Rattler.
He's obsessed with Spencer Rattler, who got benched for Tyler Shuck in New Orleans.
I'm just messing with him. I wanted to see him explode like the way Beast explodes when looking at Fine Bakery.
Whoa.
Fine Bakery does that tickles my fancy too. I don't eat it anymore, but like I can't even.
That had a kick to it.
I got.
Buenos dias, amigos.
Volcano complete.
Uh-oh.
Is Sarah Connor here? I was told she was here. Can I see her, please? Where is she? I'll be back.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
There are so many Matrix nicknames the chat could give him right now. Let me get the party started. Go for it.
I do have two things I wanted to touch on a serious note. You want the football one or the non-football one? The Jets one or the non-Jets one? Which one should I do first, Jake?
Do the Jet point first.
All right. Dante Moore. I'm leaning in that direction. I don't love either of these quarterbacks, but to me, Dante Moore looks more like a top 5 pick with a ceiling than Mendoza does. Like, I don't love either one of them. And the guy that recommended trading for Kyler Murray and getting the 3 and then giving Arizona the 2, I like that idea. I'm interested in that. But if we are going to take one of these two quarterbacks, I like the way that Moore gets rid of the ball. He gets rid of the ball quick. He's a quick decision maker. He's fairly accurate when he rolls out. I think there's upside in here. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be Jordan Love, but I love Jordan Love, and I see a little bit of Jordan Love to his game. I think he's got higher upside. If we're going to take a quarterback, I'd rather have Moore.
I like Mendoza better in terms of the 3-step on time game. The really troubling thing with Mendoza, and I don't see Matt Ryan or Goff or any of those guys in Mendoza. I think they had stronger arms. They were more pocket guys. Mendoza's an heavy RPO 3-step offense.
Yeah.
So it's 3-step on time, which he's great at, or it's fully extended. In other words, he does the way he handles pressure is very questionable. He's usually reactive as opposed to proactive. Everyone's ignoring UCLA. Cal. I'm sorry. Everyone's ignoring Cal.
Oh no, Moore played at UCLA. Yeah.
Yes,
Mendoza
Cal.
Cal.
The pressure thing, the poise. I feel he doesn't. In other words, when the pocket's not clean, he doesn't slide and move and keep his eyes locked downfield. It's either on time or everything's a train wreck and a mess, and he'll try to vacate the pocket and try to make something happen on the run. Dante Moore moves and slides and keeps his eyes on the progression. But the 3-step on time stuff, I think Mendoza is better at. So all I'm saying is just it's very early in the process. That's all.
It is, but Mendoza's got a lot of Moore doesn't. Moore really only, I know Moore played a little bit with UCLA. I remember him a little bit on UCLA, but he really only played 1 year. I don't love that. I like quarterbacks to start at least 2 years to get more tape on them.
Yeah, it's better. It's better for sure.
But like, there's only 2 first-round quarterbacks who are draftable. So why would Moore not go, right? If he's one of 2, and there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, it would be a silly economic decision not to go. He's going to get drafted in the first round.
That's the thing. I heard an argument from someone on Twitter saying there's no he cited all the fired head coaches, and he said the NFL has a QB development problem. And my first thought is, what development?
Yeah,
the rules they play within. It says, forget about development. Like you draft the guy. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't cost a fortune to get rid of him. The new salary makes it so, and then you just replace him. That's why you see these wild fluctuations. So firing a coach doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing for the quarterback. We've seen examples to the contrary,
No, I agree. There's no more development. And well, all right. The other thing I wanted, Kingsbury. Now we're on development. Kingsbury. Not an OC. The HC of the NYJ, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, well, yes, but
fire Glenn now. Just do it now and hire Kingsbury.
Of course. If I could press a button and swap Glenn for Kingsbury, I'd do it in a second. That's obviously not happening, but Kingsbury is available. If I will make him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the sport to take the Jets job. That's what I would do if I were the Jets, but that's exactly why they won't do it.
So I wanted to ask you one thing, Jake. I'm with you. Like,
yo, Holmes, I see you.
Highest paid OC in the history of the sport, or HC. Just fire Glenn now. HC of the NY. He's going to get other OC offers. I'll do you one better, Clip. HC of the NYJ. Let's do it.
Hey, he's a former Jet, so there you go.
Yeah.
All the people defending Glenn.
Well, I didn't even know he dressed. Is that preseason? I remember.
Oh, he played for the Jets, baby. He was doing his thing on the 05 Jets, I believe.
He was a Jet.
Bollinger, was it Brooks Bollinger? 05.
That was the year that Chad got hurt and they had like a million quarterbacks.
It was Corbett's final play too against the Chargers.
He was on a team with Testaverde, was he not?
Testaverde came.
they
Yeah,
brought-
he was,
they
but
brought
it
Vinny
was
back.
yeah, it was Testaverde's one of his comebacks. Yeah,
Because I remember, okay, he got Testaverde's kid on.
Look at this
Texas
guy.
Tech
This
when
be
he
the
was
most
head
handsome
there.
coach we've hired in forever.
He is Captain Handsome Pants. That's what they used to call him, Captain Handsome Pants.
Did you just make that up?
No, that's what the ladies called him when he was at Tech. Captain
Holy
Handsome
jeez.
Pants. Yeah. And the one thing to Jake, the guy that called you a racist for wanting Glenn fired, the guy that you gave tickets to, then turned around and called you a racist.
Yeah, Renzel, that douchebag.
Yeah, Renzel, douchebag. It is a douchebag thing. You know what else is a douchebag thing, Jake? Calling somebody a misogynist for no reason as well.
Whoa.
Also, not a
that's
cool
true,
thing
though.
to do. You can't be a misogynist. Misogynist, we did this, means hatred of women. If I hate women, I made a really weird choice in who I married. Like a really strange choice.
Well, let's let Robbie decide here. I have
Yeah.
some clips we could play, some
Okay.
some
Go for it.
evidence, if you will.
Mhm.
Hold on one moment. Stand by, folks. Let me get the evidence here. Here is Gary on women, who, of course, claims to not be a misogynist. Laundry? Nah, I got a wife for that. Only women can do laundry, Gary. You can't do your own laundry?
I could. I choose not to. Thank you for the vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I don't think women should vote at all. I think that's just being silly. I think in your heart of hearts, you think that's silly too. It's just sad.
No, in my heart of hearts, I think that women have every right to vote, Gary.
Who should I vote for tomorrow in the election? I think that's utterly ridiculous. It took men 5,000 years to create this society. It took women 2 generations to destroy it. I don't know what the problem is, but I know that it was caused by feminism. Feminism is a work for evil that needs to be eradicated. I think it's the cause of most of the problems in the world. Most of them.
Really?
If you ask my wife, she would agree with you too. I wouldn't marry someone.
Your wife thinks that she shouldn't be allowed to vote?
She thinks women should not be allowed to vote. Correct. Yes. Make me some meat and then we're good.
Yeah, but why are you more qualified to vote than your wife?
Because men are more logical. Men live a harder life. Every single company in the world that advertises towards women. Do you know why? It's easy to manipulate women. That's why they advertise towards women. I'm just giving you facts. You may not like those facts, but those are all facts. Women make the purchases, women carry the debt, and they're easier to manipulate.
Gary, you want to know the reasons why females shop more? They take care of our families.
I'm a man. I have principles. In my principle, I don't think women should vote. Criminals should vote. I don't think unemployed men should vote. I don't think people who live off the government should vote. I don't think low IQ people should vote. I don't think most people should vote. I think the voting class should be like a very small percentage of the people.
So basically, the people that are the elitists would be the people that you want to vote, not the actual culture of people.
A taxpayer, someone who's not in prison.
In essence, you're saying that a woman has no value if she can't vote, because that means she can't vote for her own personal interests.
No,
if she's not in the family.
I think that the power to vote is the power to divide. So now you can divide families, which is exactly what they want. You can call it crazy if you want. If we eliminated premarital sex tomorrow, if no one ever had premarital sex again, most of the world's problems would disappear overnight. Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote.
You guys say misogynist. All I hear is based. Everything I
dude.
said there is
Yeah, but that
Everything
last
I said
one
there was fire.
But that last one, like I'm looking for my noose. Like that last one. First of all, my PR team contacted me during this and said, "Do not associate with this MFer." That's number one. Number
Also,
two,
Amanda looked up the definition. Misogynist, according in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is a person who hates or discriminates against women. Gare Bear may not be a woman hater, but he's a woman discriminator.
Okay, Gary.
The word means hatred when we did this, and Boomtown fact checked it, and I was correct. But continue.
Okay, Gary, it's these are the topics me and you always have, or the convos. So your feminist point is logical, clear, coherent, completely understand. But then you go too far. Like, you know what I mean? Like you go a branch too far.
What's the branch too far? What's the bridge too far there? Where did I jump the shark there?
The logical part. In other words, there's no way to prove that. There's no way there's substance behind it. Whether it's true, equal, untrue, whatever it is, if there's no way to clearly map out that you are correct, it's a bridge too far. That's the thing.
All right.
In other words,
I mean, it's
what
like
you're
when I
fighting
say
for-
things like men are better at fighting and women are better at nurturing children. I don't know
That's
how
fair.
you would
That's
measure
fair.
that, but we all know that it's
No,
true.
no,
right? I
you
don't
could
know how-
you could absolutely measure that based on incidences and you can to a point for sure.
You'd be able to measure that men are more logical, women are more emotional. What's the opposite of emotion? Logic. Men are logical, women are emotional. We can say that this is not true, but like we all know that it is true. Like it is evidently true, and that's why women and men are two halves of a whole. I didn't say men are better. I said men and women are two halves of a whole.
Right.
I'm not saying men are better than women. Men are
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
At some
I
things,
never
and women are better
thought
at
you.
other things.
By the way, I never thought you said that. I was not under that impression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like everything I said.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Oh, what up, Jen?
What's up, Gary? I didn't know I was going to be on with you today. How you doing, Gary?
Wait a second. I thought you wanted to rumble him. I thought that's why you called
to
him.
rumble me.
Oh no, Jake. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh God, I don't have time to talk to you. I thought you
Oh.
wanted to rumble.
Oh, that's nice of you, Jake.
Well, I love you, Jets Johnny. I thought we were gonna get Gary versus someone taking on his crazy views.
I hate to say it, but I mostly agree with Gary.
All right.
Based.
Call
You
back on
guys
my
are
second
misogynist.
show.
All I hear is based.
What time you go on live,
everything I
Jake?
said there is true.
4:00. Joe Blewett's the guest. Probably we'll push it back a little bit because we're long here. But call back. I'll get you on first, Jets Johnny, because I want to finish our Glenn conversation.
I got you. I'll call you first thing tomorrow morning. And we
All
can
right, that
finish the
works too.
conversation. I got to work tonight, so I got
All
you.
right. That's a big case of the blue balls there. I thought we were gonna get a real rumble with Gary. I guess not though. So never mind.
It's like
I
so
came
Gary.
to battle.
My
today.
point is
Go ahead.
Gary. My point is this: it's you make sense. You're sensical, but I think going a bridge too far hurts the argument and hurts the progress of what you're trying to achieve. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, and
In terms of
I would agree-
strategy.
I would agree with what you're saying if I think I was going too far. And sometimes, you have to move the Overton window so far that you get a response, right? The border's
Yeah,
either
but
gotta
then
be
if
too
both
hot or too
sides,
cold.
but then if both sides, if both sides react, if the other side reacts and both sides are doing it, we get the madness we have today.
I don't see.
That's
I
the
think
problem.
I don't think either side goes far enough. I
Oh
really
my
don't.
God.
I really don't. I think I want a completely polarized country. Pick a side. Everyone pick a side.
No. We got to live in a gray area. We have to live in gray and nuance.
I feel like we live in gray, and this is the net result. I feel like we live in between the 40s. I think we need to go out to the 10s. Although
No,
that's-
if we want to get really deep, we don't live gray enough. Why? Because what runs our country is the government, and we have two extremes, one on the left, one on the right, who are really just working together at the end of the day to maintain power. So
I'm with you on that.
going extreme doesn't allow for recognition of that fact. Does that make sense? Going extreme puts yourself on one of the two teams without actually thinking, man, what the hell's going on here? Nothing changes, even though promises change and shit is talked. So that's my point. It's like, to end the game, you have to decide not to play the game. Is pretty much where I land.
That's an argument. I can live with that argument. That's why I'm pretty much done voting. I think I'm done. I think this was my last time voting. I think I'm out.
Right.
So
Women need to vacuum and shouldn't be allowed to vote. Yeah, ladies, you can do music.
All right, let me get to the last couple calls here. Robbie, if you got to run, certainly feel free.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes.
All right,
let's do
beautiful.
this.
Jiggy is next. Hello, Jiggy.
Oh, what's up, man? I can't hear you guys right now.
You got me?
Reset, Jiggy. I'll come back to you. In the meantime, we'll go to Philly Noodles. Hey, Philly.
Hey, what's going on, dude? What's going on, Robbie? How you doing?
What's up?
First off, real quick, it's anchor man, not anchor lady. They don't belong in the newsroom. That was stated, many years ago. Classic statement. That's for Gary. Real quick, what do you think about Linderbaum? Is there still a chance? You think they'll allocate any more money at center this offseason?
There's definitely a chance if he hits the open market, but I still think the Ravens in their history, that would tell me a guy they drafted and is a Pro Bowl center they'd want to keep. I don't think they'd let that guy go, but I don't know.
Yeah, you think we drive the bargain, drive the price? You know what I mean? Maybe throw a stupid number at him. I would love to see him on our team.
Yeah, I love Linderbaum coming out even. And what's happening with Harbaugh though? Like no one knows what's happening there.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be back. I don't know. I mean, if there's any walk from Lamar Jackson, I feel like Miami would be the spot. And you flip Tua maybe or something stupid like that, but that's even wild. But I don't know. Yeah, I just wanted to see what you thought about Linderbaum. If anyone, I just want to see if anyone thinks he's still a real option.
I'll get a guy. Yeah, I'll check in with a guy who covers the Ravens for an update on that. My good friend Bobby's a Ravens content guy. He would have a better idea. But last time I checked with him, he's like, I would expect him to keep him, but they have a new coach and new way of doing things. Who knows?
Yeah, that's especially if Lamar's still there. I mean, if Lamar goes somewhere else, we'll see. And Harbaugh, it's a different coach. We'll see.
Bill says Cliff should be considering the Jet job if Woody gives him a bag to be the OC assistant head coach. If and then when Glenn fails, he could slide right over to the head coaching seat unless he gets head coaching offers now. I don't know. He'll definitely get interviews. Again, I don't think the Jets will do this, but again, if we're talking about improving the offensive staff, see you later, Engstrand. If I could have a clear upgrade with a guy who has a proven track record of coaching up quarterbacks. I get the head coaching record was not great. He'd be the OC in this scenario if they're retaining Mr. Accountability. So you got to hope that, they would do something like this, but I doubt it.
Like even if they were to think and explore that direction, it would come down to what the OC feels is the direction of the head coach and the team in terms of restrictions. That is a major, major part of this, and it's an unknown. I don't know what it is.
Zach says, what good coach or free agency would come play for the Jets knowing the history and Glenn's on the hot seat without significant overpay? Zero. You got to overpay. Money talks.
Yeah, you got to overpay. And it's, again, if you're in that mindset, get out of it, because the right thing to do, if no one's going to come to you, is do your homework, really investigate, and pick a guy who you're basically level jumping with, like Philly did with Andy Reid, who was never a coordinator, like a McCown, Mini, or Kubiak, even coming into this past last season. If you're an innovative organization, you target Kubiak as head coach before he builds that name. That's the type of thinking, I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, super chat from Paul. He says pressers posted on the Jets site. It should have been on their YouTube
The whole thing?
Yeah, whatever. I'll pull some clips for the afternoon show with Blew It. Mike says, love y'all for showing up day after day in spite of this team. It will all be much more sweet when we win the Super Bowl. Kingsbury greater than Glenn. #2 in 26.
Hey, man, this is my job. I mean, JetX, that's how I make my living. It's and Nick's X Factor, too. Check it out. I'm going to be doing a lot more basketball, but hey, this is the deal. This is the job,
Mike says, LOL of gray on my screen, Jake. A lot of gray on my screen, Jake. What is this? Oh, is it? He's referring to Robbie's hair.
I don't know. I said gray area too with what's his name? Shit, I forget. Gary, my man Gary. So could be anything. Who the hell knows?
Oregon Jet says it goes the Father, the Son, and Dante Moore. Love that. Tom in the raffle for one. Thank you, Tom. Danger Zone says, can Robbie squash the idea that Moore is a one read QB?
Yes, I can. And people are going to get mad at me. Based on everything I've seen, Mendoza is more of a one read QB than Dante Moore.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And now, is it because of the person or is it because of the scheme they're in? That's the question. See, the scheme, Cignetti's so damn good, and Shanahan. When you watch Indiana, it's a lot of RPO, it's a lot of play action. What does that do? If you're in good chain positions, 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, it freezes the pass rush. So RPOs, play action, freezes the pass rush, one read, out and quick, and you don't get a sense for 5 to 7 step drops ever. It's very tough to evaluate. Quarterbacks who play RPO, heavy collegiate systems, it's not bad that they do so. It's just tougher to evaluate because the options to see them in an NFL environment aren't present. So I don't know. Based on tape, yeah, Moore is definitely not just one read.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Horton in the raffle for 5. Give him a hug.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Raffle's coming up. William says Kingsbury looks like the move. I agree. I would look to hire him to make him the head coach. They're not going to do that. I'd make him the OC if interested. Spencer says, can we get back to the Gase days? Puke of having AG run the D and Cliff coach the offense. Yeah, I mean, Greg Williams ran the D. That's how they won.
Look at you, Holmes's comment. Sabo said weeks ago he didn't watch college.
He watches film now.
And sold the same. I'm an honest fella. I didn't watch the tape up until 2 weeks ago. The last 7 to 10 days, I've been pounding it every freaking game. So
what now?
What did I say? Pound cake?
Calm your freaky down.
Yo, Holmes, you're my boy still.
Ralphie, super chat. Would you use cap space for 1 to 2 big splashes or be up to add quality depth with a lot of players?
Free agency is another trap in terms of thinking it's all about talent. I wouldn't go crazy in free agency. I don't expect them to either, and I hope they don't, because it would be a potential sign of desperation.
Let's see. Let's get to Jiggy and then Kyle Clifton in the last 2 calls for the raffle. Hello, Jiggy.
What's up, man? My bad. Last time, I don't know what happened, but couldn't hear you guys once you brought me on. But I know last time I was here, I was, behind Glenn a lot. I mean, I still think he should get the second year. He has a clean slate. He can get a new quarterback to set his foundation, have a great deal of amount of cap space. Hopefully this time he can turn around and get some better coordinators. Now that, Cliff Kingsbury has, that opening, maybe they can sell him a dream to bring him over. And I really don't think it would be that hard for him to bring a coordinator over, like a decent coordinator that may be getting a head coaching job that just got fired. I'm thinking Raheem Morris, you maybe bring him. Also, Jesse Bates is a free agent next year, so maybe he could bring his safety with him. Then you can address the other safety and free agent or address cornerback. But I definitely think they should try to definitely go for Dayball or Cliff Kingsbury, a year stint here, teach Engstrand how to really work with quarterbacks, build him up a little bit, get this offense rolling, and then potentially get back to, another head coaching job after, we potentially have a decent year next year. But I wanted to see what you guys thought about, the real possibility of Dayball possibly coming and, having some sort of, role in the offense there.
OC or he's not taking the job, Jiggy. That's the bottom line.
That's pretty much it. And I love Dayball. If I'm viewing it, just him in terms of offense in today's league, I think he's tremendous. I really do. What happened with the Giants is a crazy mystery to me, honestly. That was one of the more surprising things. And it just fell apart after Wink, which I'll never be able to figure it out, honestly. And I still like Dayball, but it's this curious thing.
Our last call before the raffle is
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Kyle, what's up?
So, I appreciate, when someone's wife doesn't row in the same direction as them politically, how frustrating it can be.
Right.
But you also have to understand that, taking away people's voice is not the answer, right? And that society writ large is going to view things a little bit differently than you.
Yes.
And so that's my only thing.
Yes.
I'm very frustrated by some of my wife's stances often.
Poor bastard.
But yeah, I mean, is there any way that the Jets could show that they totally discount and take advantage and take for granted their fan base than this presser today, and making sure that the fans aren't able to comment on it? They know how the fans feel about this guy. They know that there's no confidence out there.
And there shouldn't be. He's a joke.
And there shouldn't be.
Well, to be honest, before you go on, his legend status helping them right now. Like, I'm not, it's overwhelmingly negative for sure, but the fact that he played for the Jets, the percentage isn't what it normally would be. In other words,
But I mean,
if he didn't play for the Jets, I think Woody fires him. I think the fact he played for the Jets, Woody got caught up in, I can't fire a great Jet after a year, even though Gerard Mayer did the same damn thing.
It convolutes things 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's anyone out there in this fan base that once he was hired didn't want him to succeed.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just a little frustrating to see us compounding this mistake by bringing him back. I mean, it's obvious he's going to be back now. It's just a matter of, like, you know, they're trying to, are they trying to save money by not letting him go and just paying out his contract because they're going to have him work for him? So now they're going to have to overpay for a QB coach and a new DC and possibly a new senior offensive assistant. Like, you know, and they're going to be spending more money one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's frustrating to kind of have this, and this is as low as I've ever been in 45 years being a fan of this team, and I can't remember a time where it was even close, and that includes Kotite.
Yeah, I remember the Kotite day. I was young, but I remember the Kotite days too. Yeah,
and you know, the fact that Woody just seems to think that this is fine and it's acceptable, and that so many fans are willing to accept it is the other thing that's troubling. Like, this team should have been competitive. It should have been in approaching half of its games, right, with the talent that we started out the season with. They really essentially, on the two major phases of the ball, offense and defense, weren't really competitive in any of them. We were elevated by our special teams in the 3 games that we won, and no one can tell me otherwise. That's the reason that we have these phantom illusory 3 wins. This team really needs someone to steward it, to guide it, and Glenn ain't it. And
well, you made a great point. There was talent on this team, and if people want to pretend there wasn't, go for it. You'll sleep better. Cool. There was talent, and that's the troubling thing. What we talked about at the start: team identity and having that conviction, and getting to a point where these guys just won't fit the system. I got to find new guys. That's the worry. That's the big worry, as opposed to doing it the other way around.
Even if Quincy's All-Pro year was an illusion, right? You still have a game wrecker in Quinton up front when you start the season. You still have a lockdown corner in Sauce to start the season, and you still have, you know, guys that were kind of competent, you know, to kind of keep you in games that probably should have won you 3 or 4 games on their own.
Yeah,
if we're frank, and like, cause some team comes in not prepared. There's elements. You should be able to luck into 3 or 4 wins, and boy, did we ever luck into 3 wins from the special teams phase. I appreciate your time, guys.
Well said, Kyle. Again, if you remove the special teams, this was a 1-win football team this year. That, like, seriously, special teams DVOA was one of the best ever. It was like the 6th best ever. They had the best special teams unit in the NFL this year. They do not win games, any of their 3 wins, without the special teams unit. Let's say they win a game, right? They probably win the Bengals game, let's just say. But they needed Nick Folk in the rain in the Atlanta. They also needed Atlanta to muff a punt at the 2 to win that one. And the game against the Browns, that they won by less than 7 points, they had 2 returns on special teams for touchdowns that helped them win the game. So if you just look at offense and defense, this was one of the worst teams in the history of the NFL since DVOA began tracking things in 1978. Your guy Nadia has the numbers here. This was really one of the worst teams ever.
Parcells' old quote, a lot of Jets fans have heard it: never take the foot out of football. Is Glenn still abiding by that quote today? Is my question. Because, hey, special teams is great. But if he's treating it like it's still 33% of the game, no, there's no chance. It's a red zone efficiency game today, not a goal line to goal line game like it was during the Parcells days. And again, you see so many people think about the special teams and banjo and then just stop right there. Man, that's a great sign. That we're going to keep it up and we're going to match that intensity and production from the other units. No, it's about time management. How much time did you spend on it? What is your focus? What's your priority? And I think that's where they got to go and really do some soul searching.
By the way, Jets Johnny, I see he's asking about Cliff Kingsbury, saying he got fired as a losing record. He made the playoffs with Kyler Murray, proven offensive mind. Look what he did with Jane Daniels last year. Look what he did with the litany of quarterbacks he worked with at Texas Tech. He wasn't a good head coach. Maybe he's learned from that. Second chance, he'd be better. But again, if Glenn's sticking around, him as the OC would make a lot of sense because it'd be like what Vrabel did when he brought in McDaniels for Drake May. Like we could have Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza set up with a proven offensive coordinator. That'd be the point.
It goes well beyond the appearance. Like guys who are ready to take that next step, quote unquote, in the news, ready to be a head coach, goes well beyond that. Guys you draft, oh, he's tearing it up, team success, Heisman. It goes well beyond that. And if it didn't, Mahomes would have been drafted number 1. And Kingsbury is, is coaching Texas Tech. There's a connection. Gotta dig deeper and think more deeply about this stuff than just what's in front of your face.
Again, you could bring up his Texas Tech record with Patrick Mahomes. He'd be the OC. I don't care.
Yeah. He had one losing season this past year. He wasn't great every year in Arizona. Okay. So if that's your measuring stick, then you're just playing right into the game that repeats the same old cycle. That's all I'm saying. You gotta dig deeper. You gotta look at what wins around the league, and it's not the fiery run through the wall Kool-Aid man stuff. It's not that anymore.
Judge Johnny says you take him as head coach right now. Yeah, because Aaron Glenn's terrible. So he wouldn't be my first choice. If I could pick anyone, I'd pick Mike McCarthy or I'd go Clint Kubiak if we're going to try the innovative first time offensive play caller.
If Harbaugh were to shake in a perfect world, if I own a franchise and don't have a head coach, if Harbaugh shook free, do Harbaugh in a second.
Of course. And you don't understand, Jets Johnny. Anyone is better than Aaron Glenn right now. That's our point. We rather an offensive guy who has been to the playoffs with Kyler Murray than Aaron Glenn, who's 3-14, telling us that he's got this great plan and we should just trust him. And it's based on what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's based on just blind faith.
I know it's hard to say. Just trust me, have faith in what we're doing.
Again, Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, even Kellen Moore, who got hot later. They finished with 7 wins. They go 7-10 or 6-11, whatever. All these guys, do we really think they're that much smarter than guys like Aaron Glenn? No, they just have a built-in advantage thanks to the rules. The head coach who thinks like a quarterback has an unfair advantage. That doesn't disclude defensive guys from being head coaches, but those defensive guys better understand that, and they better have a stud OC like the defensive guys in the playoffs right now, Arthur Smith, McDaniels, Kubiak, Caley. And that's how you got to operate. So, again, it starts with the mindset. It starts with accepting reality.
Trust me, bro. All right, we ready for the raffle of all raffles, folks? A weekly raffle. Robby, at this point, you got to stick around to find out who wins.
All right. Don't twist my arm.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on our raffle master of ceremony.
Abracadabra. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Macho Man Randy Savage. Welcome. Are we ready? Since we don't got much time, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. Enough of the talking, enough of the action. We can save that for just another day or two. Now, let's spin the Jake Asman 2026 Wheel of Champions. Don't you know what I'm saying?
Cream of the crop.
Snap it to a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
They're epic. Signed Klecko jersey, signed Revis jersey, signed Maynard football. You can only win one prize per weekly raffle. And now it's time to spin the Wheel of Champions. Again, if you entered today, you're included in this, and you've already been entered in Raffle 56 next week. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck to everyone. Thank you for your support. The show is not possible without the memberships, the super chats, the daily viewership. You guys make it possible to talk about the Jets, team that has failed to make the playoffs longer than any team in professional sports every day for 4+ hours. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our first winner. Our first winner is a Joe Klecko signed jersey. And the winner is the great Rick Kent. Rick Kent is your winner of a Klecko jersey. Love that. I think Rick actually won a signed Klecko helmet a couple weeks back, so that's awesome. All right.
Rigging the system.
Here we go.
Rigging the system.
Another chance to win a signed Jets item. This time it's a Darrelle Revis signed jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The big fella. Oh, yeah. Those are two great winners right there. Two of our longest tenured listeners. The big fella is the second winner. Give it up for the big fella. Both of our first two winners have customized Asmaniac emojis, so hit that in the chat if you're watching live right now. All right, one last winner. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a signed football by Jet legend, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Don Maynard. The winner is Paul Faz. Let's go, Paul Faz. Congratulations to Paul, the big fella, and Rick Kent on being our winners in this week's weekly raffle. Let's freaking go. Hit it.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
Outstanding.
Solid.
3 awesome winners. Paul's a great regular caller on the show. He's got the voice where people think he's just smoking 10 cigarettes a day. Big fella's a legend. He's in the chat. Rick Kent. Everyone knows Rick Kent. He's always tuned in the comments and supporting the show.
I must say that name sounds quite made up. Rick Kent.
The great Rick Kent.
You know, it sounds like something you'd when you're on the run, when you're on the lam. That would be your on the lam run, on the lam name. I feel like completely fake.
One last super chat here from Gypsy Moonchild. Gary, if society fell apart because women had a vote, that would mean men's leadership was fragile enough to collapse the moment equality showed up. Damn.
Not bad.
Love it. Shout out to you, Gypsy Moonchild and Black Gypsy, of course. Robbie, plug JetX. Plug the pod with Wayne if there's one coming up. Plug yourself. You've been on for a marathon show with us today. It was necessary given the state of affairs with this football team, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, man. JetsXFactor.com. It's I have a Mendoza film article up today. Go to my Twitter because I just dropped some more in Mendoza clips on there. So you guys could all check that out. And yeah, we're going to do, Corbett and I are going to do a show this week. I'm not sure which day, maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. Just stay tuned to JetX. You'll see it.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Robby Sabo in his weekly spot. Again, you guys are the best. We're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Let me plug ZipRecruiter on the way out of here. ZipRecruiter.com/audio to try it for free. If you're like Robbie, you're like me, you got to hire people to do a particular job. ZipRecruiter should be your go-to stop for hiring employers for the job you need filled. Again, ZipRecruiter, their technology makes it easy, allows you to quickly find a great candidate without wasting anyone's time. And you can see how many job seekers are a good fit immediately. Again, it's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. You'll see right away why Zip is the #1 rated hiring site on G2. 4 out of 5 employers find a quality candidate within the first day. So check it out. Shout out to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring the show, and shout out to Robbie for coming on. We'll be back this afternoon. Another member of the JetX team, Joe Blewett, will be with us. Film review, Dante Moore, Mendoza. Oh. That's right. We're talking all 3 quarterbacks. Yeah, we're going to maybe mix in a little Tristan Chambliss too.
Nice.
Chambliss.
I'll check it out. Yeah, Blewett knows his stuff, man. He's good.
Can't wait. Again, he's Robbie. I'm Jake. We will be back with you this afternoon. Until then, I leave you with something short, sweet, but is necessary on a day like today. Go Jets. You guys know when the Lane train calls in, this show could go anywhere, so buckle up. What's up, Lane Kerner?
Zach Wilson is not going to come back. Why don't you think he's going to sign still with the Jets? Is it because he's not good?
He stinks!
Oh, stinks? Yeah, same feeling.
The guy is terrible!
I said announce the draft picks
Lane, I want you to announce a Jets pick. That would make my
Yeah.
life.
I mean, who am I going to pick, though, for the draft? On the 2022 draft pick, the pick goes to Knoble out of college. Then they tell you who the players are from, and their families get excited. You sign him, he should be good going into week 1. Yeah, I know a lot of the football.
That was amazing. I love you, Lane. You're the best. What a draft pick. Lane, you are a national treasure.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.